Hello everyone. Sorry for the delay. Good evening. Hello everyone. Good evening. Sorry for the delay. Okay, I hope you all are ready for biology questions. Okay, so today we'll be doing biology, all the chapters one by one. Okay, so what I want to do is you need to just keep a rough notebook along with you. Okay, so that when you get stuck up somewhere in one question, you know which topic you have to study again. Okay, so that way you collect all the topics today, so that after the class you can go back and revise all those topics once again, so that you can clear your doubts. Okay, so is it clear? So give a thumbs up if you'll do that, or heart also. Okay, so एग्जाम इज नियर. सो अच्छे से पढ़ो. ओनली फ्यू डेज. सो बायोलॉजी, आज बायोलॉजी खत्म हो जाएगा. केमिस्ट्री, you all have already, some of you have already seen my live class, done my live class. Those who have not done, go back for the questions. Some of the questions are little bit tougher, so just go through it. Okay, so इस बार का science paper might be a little tougher than the previous year. Okay, so that's why go for the tough questions. Easy ones are, if you are getting the easy ones, then you are lucky. Okay, so go for the this one, tough ones first. Okay, chalo start karte hain. So let's start. Okay, give a heart or a thumbs up or a like if you are ready for biology. Okay, let's start. The first question. Okay, so we'll do life process first. You have to be fast in the answer. Okay. Which process is responsible for the movement of water from roots to leaves in tall trees? Okay. तो इसमें बताना है कौन सा process is responsible for water movement from roots से leaves तक जाने के लिए, which process is involved? Okay, for the movement of water. Is it diffusion? Is it osmosis, transpiration pull, or is it active transport? Which one is it? A, B, C, or D? One is just diffusion, one is osmosis, third one is transpiration pull, and D is active transport. Okay, so A, see, diffusion is mostly for gases. Okay, that way you remember. Osmosis में water होता है, लेकिन अगर रूट से नीचे से ऊपर जाना है, then you need some energy, right? Or extra amount of things needs to be done by the plants or the trees. That means it is. So what will be the option? Option C. Okay, transpiration pull. When the transpiration pull or you know what is transpiration, right? Loss of water from the plants through the leaves. So जब transpiration होता रहता है, then a pressure is created, जिसके वजह से जो roots है उससे water movement will start from the roots to the upper parts of the plant. ठीक है, it's not osmosis, it's not diffusion, transpiration pull होगा. उसी से ही तुम्हारा रूट से लीव्स तक अगर जाना है नीचे से ऊपर, दैट मीन्स यू आर गोइंग एंटी ग्रेविटी, राइट, अगेंस्ट द ग्रेविटी. सो इट विल बी सी. ओके, डिफ्यूजन इज फॉर गैसेस, दैट वे यू रिमेंबर. ठीक है. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. Why is double circulation necessary in humans? We know that in humans we have a double circulatory system. Okay, double circulation होता है. Now why? Option A, to mix oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. number B, to supply blood at high pressure to organs, yeah, number C, to reduce heart attack, or number D, to slow down blood flow. So what will be the answer? A, B, C or D? Fast. Why do we require double circulation? Why not single circulation? Why it is double circulation? Fast. Give me the answer. So the correct answer will be B, okay, to supply blood at high pressure to the organs. Okay, so when you go from the heart to the remaining organs, it requires a high pressure. So that's why double circulation. एक होता है heart के आने के लिए, and the other one is from the heart to the different parts of the body. Okay, so it will be option B. Yes. Next one. Which feature best distinguishes arteries from veins? Okay, so how will you distinguish between arteries and veins? Veins and arteries means what is the difference? Okay, thickness of wall, is it direction of blood flow, is it pressure of blood, or is it color of blood? So you should know the differences between arteries and veins. What is the thing that differentiate arteries from the veins? Tell me the answer. Biology, I'll give you 5 seconds, okay, not more than that, to answer it. एक होता है thin wall, एक होता है thick wall. So on which one is it? Blood, color of blood, best one, ठीक है? Which one will be the best distinguishes? एक से ज़्यादा आंसर भी होगा, but the best one you have to choose. Okay. Yes, very good. Thickness of wall. Okay, so thickness of wall will determine it is the major difference between arteries and veins. Arteries have thick walls, veins have thin walls. Okay, let's move to the next one. Which event occurs during inhalation in humans? Okay, you know inhalation, exhalation. तो inhalation में क्या होगा? The diaphragm relaxes, rib cage moves inward, lung volume decreases, diaphragm contracts. You know during inhalation and exhalation, your rib cage as well as that your diaphragm, it contracts and relaxes. Okay, so which one will do during inhalation? Inhalation में क्या होगा? So your correct answer will be option D. Your diaphragm will contract. Okay. Inhalation means when you are breathing in, diaphragm, lung will expand, और क्या होगा? Diaphragm will contract. Okay. Exhalation में क्या होगा? Lungs collapse होगा, I mean decrease होगा, and your diaphragm will relax. Okay. So it will not contract, ये ऊपर चला जाएगा. Okay. So that's the difference between inhalation and exhalation. So you are talking about the diaphragm here. Okay. Next one. Why is mitochondria called the powerhouse of the cell? They store energy, they release enzymes, they produce ATP, they control cell division. Very easy. So what is it? Why is mitochondria called the powerhouse? ये बचपन से पढ़ा. So it produces ATP. Okay, not A, it is C. Mitochondria is powerhouse of the cell because it produces ATP. Yes. Okay. Next one. Why do multicellular organisms require a transport system? Okay, in multicellular organisms we have a transport system, right, to for circulation. So why do we need them? To increase body size. Option B, to supply nutrients and oxygen to all cells. Option C, to remove chlorophyll. And option D, to control reproduction. So out of these four, which one is the correct answer? Okay. Why do we need a transport system? Yes, I have already given you the hint. Okay, so it is option B is the correct one. Very good. So to supply nutrients and oxygen to all cells. Okay, next one. Which organ in human filters nitrogenous waste from blood? Is it liver, kidney, lung, pancreas? Which organ will throw out nitrogenous waste from blood? So what will be the answer? Let's see the answer. So it is kidney. Yes, B is the correct option. So kidney, nitrogenous waste, we are talking about kidney here. Okay. Next one. Why is smoking harmful to respiratory system? This is easy one. It increases oxygen supply, it damages alveoli, it strengthens lungs, it improves breathing rate. Which one will be the correct answer? Why is smoking harmful? Okay, let's see. So, yes, those have given option B. That's the correct answer. It damages the alveoli. Okay, so alveoli, you see the grape-like structures that you see inside the lungs. That those are alveoli. Okay, it stores oxygen. Okay, so it will, what will happen when the people who smoke, it causes, smoking will cause the damage to the alveoli. Okay, that's why they'll have breathing issues and all. Next one. Which of the following has no digestive enzymes? Okay, you see here no digestive enzymes. Is it saliva, bile, gastric juice, intestinal juice? This is related to digestion. बोलो कौन सा होगा? Saliva, bile, gastric juice या intestinal juice. जिसमें there is no digestive enzymes. Okay, let's see the answer. So yes, bile does not contain digestive enzymes. Okay. It is option B, not saliva. Saliva contains what? Salivary amylase. It's an enzyme, right? So it is bile. Bile may there is no digestive enzymes. Okay, next one. Digestion is intracellular in amoeba because. Okay, why is digestion intracellular in amoeba? Is it because amoeba is unicellular, or number B, amoeba is multicellular? Option C, amoeba is found in pond, or option D, amoeba is microscopic animal? Which one is it? Intracellular. One is extracellular, one is intracellular. Okay. We have mixed answers. Yes, amoeba is unicellular. Okay, so amoeba is not a multicellular organism, so intracellular digestion occurs in amoebas. Okay, because amoeba is unicellular. So it might be a reverse type of question also. Why? What type of digestion is seen in amoeba? So that is intracellular digestion. Okay, that way also question might come. So remember this. Next one. In a closed circulatory system, blood is completely enclosed within. Okay, if you say closed circulatory system में blood is completely enclosed within, is it sinuses, is it vessels, is it heart, or is it skeleton? कौन सा होगा? What is the option here? A, B, C or D? Your circulatory system, blood circulatory system is enclosed, मतलब अंदर, किसके अंदर होता है? Is it sinus, vessels, heart या skeleton? Okay, so the correct answer is vessels. Okay, so inside the blood vessels, that is nothing but the blood vessels. We are talking about the blood vessels. Yes, B is the correct answer. Okay, it cannot be sinus. Sinus, it's in the nose, right? Heart, not only heart is a part of the circulatory system. It cannot be skeleton. Okay, so it's the vessels. Okay, next one. This is easy one. Excretion is removal of. Is it CO2? Is it harmful and useless ingredients? Is it extra water, or is it metabolic waste? Think carefully and answer. Excretion is removal of what? Which of these compounds that is given? A, B, C or D? Excretion मतलब क्या होता है? That's the answer you have to give here. Okay. We have mixed answer D, B. Okay, let's see. It is D. Okay, so D is the correct answer. Metabolic waste. Don't write only CO2. It's not CO2. Okay, excretion matlab whatever after metabolism, whatever waste is being produced, that is being eliminated from our body through excretion. Okay, so D is the correct answer. So it is metabolic waste. Okay, next one. If the carbon dioxide concentration in the blood increases, okay, the rate of breathing will क्या होगा? Option A decrease, option B stop, option C increase, option D have no effect. कौन सा होगा? Tell me the answer. The correct answer is option C. Okay, it will increase. So if you in your blood your carbon dioxide concentration becomes more and more, ज़्यादा carbon dioxide होगा तो क्या होगा, accumulation होगा, then you will not have breathing problem, right? So the rate of breathing will increase because the heart will have to work harder and faster. Okay, so it will increase. Next one, process of respiration. Okay, now it is respiration is concerned with option A, liberation of oxygen, option B, liberation of carbon dioxide, option C, liberation of energy, या option D, intake of oxygen. Liberation means release. Okay, so respiration में क्या होता है, release of oxygen होता है, या liberation of CO2 होता है, या energy release होता है, या intake of oxygen. What will be the correct answer? Fast, fast. Okay, so the correct answer is option C, that is energy. Okay, that is liberation of energy or release of energy. So yes, and energy is released during respiration. Okay, now let's do assertion reasoning also. Okay, so question is, warm-blooded animals have their left and right side of the heart separated for more efficient supply of oxygen to the body. Reason, warm-blooded animals need high energy to maintain their body temperature. So which one will be correct? Okay, warm-blooded and cold-blooded animals are there. Now we are talking about warm-blooded animals. Okay, so in warm-blooded animals क्या, they are saying that left and right side का हाथ जो है, right side and the left side, they are separated, that because of for more supply of oxygen to the body. इसके वजह से their left and right side of the heart is separate. Okay, and reason is given because they need high energy to maintain their body temperature. Okay, all are going for A. Yes, very good. The correct option is A. That is, both the statements are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Good. Next one. Assertion. Small intestine is the site of complete digestion of food. Reason, villi in small intestine absorb the digested food. Okay. So what will be the answer here? Small intestine is the site of complete digestion of food. Is it correct? First you check this one. And reason statement also you see, villi in small intestine absorb the digested food. So you know what is villi, right? So let's see the answer. So answer is B. Okay, not A. A नहीं होगा. Both are correct, but reason वो नहीं है. Small intestine is the site of complete digestion of food. Yes, लेकिन उसका reason ये नहीं क्योंकि उसके पास villi है. Okay, villi works only for absorbing. Okay, so complete digestion why it is occurring, that is not the reason because of the villi. Okay, so A option will be B. A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of it. Okay, so think carefully. Next one. Assertion. In unicellular organisms, diffusion is sufficient for transport. Reason is given, they have small surface area to volume ratio. Okay, so you have to see, so you see whether it is correct or not. See the assertion. Unicellular organism में diffusion is enough for transportation के लिए. Okay, in unicellular. Okay, and reason given, they have small surface area to volume ratio. So what do you think is the correct answer? Let's see. So the correct answer is A. So yes, because of the small surface area to the volume ratio of the surface area to volume in unicellular organisms, it is small. Okay, so that is why only diffusion is sufficient for transportation of the nutrients. Whereas in multicellular organisms, diffusion is not enough because we require more energy, right? So and because of the complex structures of organs, so we will not, only diffusion is not sufficient. Okay, so let's do the next one. Okay, xylem transports water only in upward direction. You should know that function of xylem. Okay, so xylem function क्या होता है? It transport water from the roots to the plants, right? Now reason, xylem vessels are dead and hollow. So you see whether it is correct or wrong, and is it the correct explanation. So what will be the answer here? Hi, welcome back. Good to see you. Okay. So the correct answer is option A. Okay, so both are correct and R is the correct explanation of A. Because it is dead and because they are hollow. Okay, mainly because of hollow, then only the water can be transported from the roots to the other parts of the plant. Okay, next one. I'm not doing 4 a.m. class. I can do a morning class if you want around 9:30. If that is required, you can let me know. Okay. Yes, some of the xylem is dead. Yes, not all xylem cells are dead. Only so there are different types of xylems, right? Xylem. So out of that, the ones which is responsible for the transport, those are dead cells. Okay. Okay. Next question. If glucose appears in urine, which part of nephron is most likely malfunctioning? So this is about the nephron. Okay, so you know nephron is responsible for the urine elimination of urine. तो उसमें क्या होगा अगर glucose is present in the urine तो कौन सा nephron का part function करना बंद कर दिया or it is malfunctioning. Okay, so here the options are Bowman's capsule, is it loop of Henle, proximal convoluted tubule, or collecting duct. And remember the structure of nephron. Okay, it's very important. Nephron का structure अच्छे से labeling के साथ you should study. Okay, so you know what is the Bowman's cycle, where is loop of Henle, where is PCT, okay, proximal convoluted on collecting duct. So the correct answer is option C, that is PCT, okay, proximal convoluted tubule. Not A, it's not Bowman capsule. So it is proximal convoluted tubule. That's where the glucose exchange or the sugar exchange takes place, okay. Okay, next one. Assertion. Human shows double circulation. Reason, blood passes through the heart twice during one complete cycle. So this one is easy one. So tell me whether it is correct or and whether it is correct explanation or if anything is true and one is false. Okay, so let's see the answer. So answer is option A. So both are correct and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay, so humans show double circulation, and the reason, yes, that is because our heart pumps twice during for one complete cycle of blood circulation. Our blood passes through the our heart two times. Okay, so structure of heart is also important. Go through that also. Okay, next one. Which statement best explains why plants do not have an excretory system like animals? Okay. Option A, plants do not produce waste. Option B, plant waste are non-toxic. Option C, waste are stored or diffused out. Option D, plants respire less. So what is the correct answer here? Why do plants do not have an excretory system like animals? What would be the correct answer? Is it A? Let's see. No, it is option C. Okay, so that is waste are stored or diffused out. So that's why, because plants they don't have an excretory system like the animals. So how will they throw throw the unwanted waste? So that is true diffusion, or they will store it in the plants. Okay, for later elimination of those waste. Okay, yes, option C is the correct one. Next one. Which life process will be affected first if red blood cells are destroyed in large numbers? Is it digestion? Is it respiration, excretion, or nutrition? So if your red blood cells, you know red blood cells are that's a present in your blood, right? RBC, WBC, and all. So if red blood cells are destroyed in large amount, so which life process will be affected first? Digestion, respiration, excretion, nutrition. So yes, B is the correct answer. It will be respiration. Okay, so respiration, that means oxygen is involved. So red blood cells carries oxygen, right? Because of the hemoglobin present there in the red blood cells. Okay, so that is, so B is the correct answer. Next one. Which feature is absent in arteries but present in veins? Okay, so already one more question we have done. So which is absent, they're asking which is absent. Okay, is it thick muscular walls, is it elastic tissue, is it valves, or narrow lumen? So what is the correct answer? Which one is absent among the four? That is absent in arteries but present in veins. Okay, so the answer is C, that is valves. Valves are absent in arteries but present in veins. Okay, yes, good. Next one. Which statement is true regarding digestion in stomach? Option A, all carbohydrates are digested. Option B, proteins begin digestion here. Option C, fats are completely digested. Option D, absorption occurs here. So what is the correct statement here? Digestion, for digestion in stomach. Okay, stomach का function you should know. Stomach में क्या digest होता है? So your correct answer is B. Okay, stomach में protein होता है. Right, for protein digestion we have those, remember pepsin enzyme, तो वो क्या कहते हैं, protein breakdown होता है, right? So it is not fats, it is proteins. Stomach is for proteins. Okay, yes, B is the correct answer. Next one. Dialysis is called artificial kidney. That is the assertion statement. Reason is there, it removes nitrogenous waste from blood by filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. Okay, so dialysis method is important, so that you need to study. Okay, how does dialysis work? वो एक बार पढ़ लेना. Okay, so it is so dialysis is called artificial kidney, and they have given the reason, it removes nitrogenous waste from blood by filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. What do you think? Okay. Do you think dialysis we remove dialysis will remove nitrogenous waste from blood by all these three? It is option C. Okay, it is, so no, it is wrong. It is not A. Okay, so it is not A, not B. It is only the first statement is correct. So your dialysis machine works as a artificial kidney. ठीक है, लेकिन वो सिर्फ nitrogenous waste from, see the reason statement, it is false. It removes the nitrogen but it filters it. Okay, reabsorption, secretion वो सब नहीं करता है. That is done by the real kidney in your body. Okay, dialysis machine सिर्फ तुम्हारा filter करे, ये secretion and all it will not do. Okay, so it is wrong. इसमें बोला है कि डायलिसिस सब काम करेगा जो एक किडनी करता है, दैट इज फिल्ट्रेशन, रीअब्जॉर्प्शन, सिक्रीशन, वो सब नहीं करता है. ओनली इट विल प्यूरिफाई इट, ओनली इट विल रिमूव द वेस्ट थ्रू फिल्ट्रेशन करके, बाकी सब चीज़ फिर से किडनी में जाके वो सब होगा. ओके, सो रीअब्जॉर्प्शन, ऑल दिस थिंग, सिक्रीशन, ये सारा काम नहीं करेगा डायलिसिस मशीन. ओके, सो इट्स अ लिटिल बिट ट्रिकी, सो बी केयरफुल. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. Which step of respiration occurs in cytoplasm? Oxidation of pyruvate, glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain. So out of these four, which step of respiration occurs in cytoplasm? इसमें से कौन सा cytoplasm में होता है? What will be the option here? Fast. So the correct answer is B. Okay, so glycolysis. So in cytoplasm, glycolysis occurs. Okay, बाकी सब cytoplasm में नहीं होता है. For respiration, it occurs outside the cytoplasm. Okay. Next one. If guard cells lose turgidity, which event occurs? Okay, so you know the guard cells that are present in stomata. So if it gains water or lose water depending on the situation, right? So that way it will the stomata will open and close. So which event will occur when the guard cell loses turgidity? That means when it is losing water. Will the stomata open? Will the rate of transpiration increase, or will the gas exchange stops temporarily? Or option D, photosynthesis increases. What will be the answer? Okay, so the correct option is C. Very good. So it will be regarding gaseous exchange. Okay, so when the guard cells loses turgidity, so what will happen? Gaseous, that means the guard cells will close, the stomata will close, and as a result, gas exchange will not occur. Okay, so neither oxygen nor carbon dioxide exchange will take place. Okay, next one. If mitochondria are destroyed in a cell, which life process will stop first? Think this one. Will it be digestion, respiration, excretion, transport? Very easy. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया है तो माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया इज रिलेटेड टू व्हाट? एनर्जी, एटीपी. वो कौन सा लाइफ प्रोसेस में पढ़ते हो तुम लोग? दैट इज द आंसर. यस. सो व्हाट विल बी द आंसर? इट इज respiration. In respiration only you have studied about mitochondria, ATP, energy, है ना? So if mitochondria are destroyed तो respiration बंद हो जाएगा. Yes or no? So that's why it will be respiration. Okay. Can you explain? Yes, I'll explain it later on. Okay. But today let's do only the questions. The explanation part we'll do in some other day. Okay. Working of kidney. Okay. Next one. Assertion. Food is transported in plants in dissolved form. Reason. Phloem transports sucrose using energy from ATP. So tell me which one is the correct option. In plants, food is transported in dissolved form. Okay. And reason दिया है phloem transports sucrose using energy from ATP. So what do you know the function of phloem? Xylem I have already told. Phloem transports food, right, from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. So what will be the answer here? So it is option A. So yes, correct. So option A means both the statements are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay. Let's do the next one. Which life process is most directly dependent on circulatory system in humans? कौन सा directly dependent है for the circulatory system in humans? Digestion, respiration, excretion, nutrition. This is very easy. बोलो कौन सा वाला directly dependent है for circulatory system? So the option is B. Okay, respiration. Everything is respiration. Oxygen है जहाँ पे तो मतलब respiration ही बात होगा, right? Okay, carbon dioxide also respiration. ATP मतलब respiration. वैसे ही याद रखो. Okay, this one. Fatty acids and glycerol are absorbed mainly through option A, blood capillaries of villi, lacteals of villi, hepatic portal vein, pancreatic duct. Okay, so what will be the correct options here? Where do we see absorption of fatty acids and glycerol? तो ये होगा option B, lacteals of villi. Okay, so villi hoga where the absorption of fatty acids occur. Okay, so that is your lacteals of villi. Next question. Which change will occur first if the septum between the ventricles is damaged? Okay, so what change will occur first if the septum, so between the ventricles there is septum. Okay, so if it is damaged, so what will happen? Option A, mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, yeah, reduce heart rate, or is it option C, increase blood pressure, or option D, failure of valves? Okay, so what will you write here? What will be the correct option? Think. So the correct option will be what? Anyone? So it is option E. Okay, so that time what will happen? So oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is separated by the septum between the ventricles. You have the left ventricle, right ventricle, right? So the ventricles, they are separated, left and right ventricles are separated through a septum. एक wall की तरह होता है, that is septum. Okay, so if वो septum नहीं रहेगा तो क्या होगा? Mix हो जाएगा. Oxygenated, deoxygenated blood both will mix together. ठीक है? ओके. यू आस्क फॉर लैक्टियल्स. लैक्टियल्स विली में क्या होता है? एक छोटा ऐसा छोटा छोटा कैपिलरीज होता है. ओके, दैट इज फॉर द एब्जॉर्प्शन एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ फैटी एसिड्स. उसको बोलते हैं लैक्टियल्स. ओके, सो विली जो होता है इंटेस्टाइन का विली, उसमें छोटा छोटा कैपिलरीज होता है. ओके, उसको वो दे विल हेल्प इन द एब्जॉर्प्शन. सो दैट इज वाई इट इज लैक्टियल, दे आर कॉल्ड एज लैक्टियल्स ऑफ विली. ओके. Okay. Which statement is true about respiration in plants? Occurs only at night, occurs only in green pass, occurs continuously, or option D, does not require oxygen. You have to say which one is correct for respiration in plants. Which one is true? What will be the option? So the correct option is C, not B, it is C. Okay, that is respiration occurs anytime, right? It is not like sunlight chahiye ya chahiye, no. So respiration is it is talking about respiration, we're not talking about photosynthesis, right? Respiration will occur continuously. Okay, it will not, there is no gap. दिन में भी हो सकता है, रात में भी हो सकता है, so it is doesn't, it is not specific to day and night. Okay, so it will occur continuously. So see the question properly, what is given, respiration bola hai. Okay, next one. Move assertion reasoning again. Movement of food in phloem is bidirectional. Bidirectional means dono taraf. Okay, both ways, two ways. Reason, food can move from source to sink in plants. So what is the answer here? फ्लूएम का बोला है मूवमेंट ऑफ फूड इन फ्लूएम इज बाई डायरेक्शनल, मतलब दोनों तरफ हो सकता है. एंड रीजन बोला है फूड कैन मूव फ्रॉम सोर्स टू सिंक इन प्लांट्स. Okay, that is the option is correct. So that is both are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay, yes, good. Next one. Which change will occur if selective reabsorption stops but filtration continues normally? Okay, so which change will occur if अगर selective reabsorption बंद हो जाता है but filtration normally continue होगा? So which change will occur? No urine formation, blood pressure increase होगा. Option C, loss of glucose and salts in urine, or is it option D, accumulation of urea in blood? Okay, this one will be accumulation of urea in blood. So what will be the correct option? Tell me. Anyone? Okay, so let's see the answer. So they have said selective reabsorption बंद होगा, but अगर filtration हो रहा है, then it will be option C. Very good. So it is loss of glucose and salts in urine. So this change will occur. ठीक है, glucose and salts भी urine में loss होगा. Okay, let's do the next one. Which chamber receives blood that is rich in carbon dioxide? Okay, which chamber receives blood that is rich in carbon dioxide? Is it left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, right ventricle? So out of these four chambers of heart, which one will receive blood that is rich in carbon dioxide, that is impure blood, that is deoxygenated blood? So what will be the answer here? Okay, so the correct answer will be option C. Yes, very good. So C is the correct answer, that is right atrium. Okay, not the left atrium, it is ऊपर में ही होगा, so it is not the left atrium, it is the right atrium. So you know the functions. Okay, where does the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood is received? Okay, in the heart. So it is carbon dioxide, that means we are talking about deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood कौन लेके आता है? Vein लेके आता है. Okay, so that way you remember. Okay, next one. Which digestive juice acts on the food that has already passed through the stomach? Saliva, gastric juice, pancreatic juice, mucus. Fast. कौन सा digestive juice will act on the food जो already stomach से pass हो चुका है? Which one will it be? The correct answer. Yes. So the correct answer is option C, that is pancreatic juice. Okay, so if it has already passed the stomach, after that only the pancreatic juice will start working. Gastric juice stomach में होगा, तो यहाँ पे already given that the food has already passed through the stomach. Okay, so it will be pancreatic juice. Okay, next one. CO2 dissolves more easily in blood plasma than oxygen. Why? Option A दिया है, carbon dioxide has low molecular mass, carbon dioxide reacts with water, carbon dioxide binds with hemoglobin more strongly, carbon dioxide diffuses faster. It's a tricky question. Do it. Okay, give the answer. So your correct answer is B. Okay, so carbon dioxide reacts with water. Okay, so that's the correct answer for this. So that's why carbon dioxide, it gets dissolved in our blood more rapidly than oxygen. Okay, so it takes time for oxygen to get completely dissolved in the blood of humans. Okay, whereas carbon dioxide can easily be dissolved because it can react with water. Okay, next one. Oxidizing reducing reactions are important in life processes because they, option A, remove waste, option B, store starch, option C, break down food to release energy, and option D, transport oxygen. So what will be the correct answer? So even in our body, oxidation reduction reactions occur, right? So that's what they're asking. Why does they occur? What is the reason behind it? What will be the answer? The correct answer is option C, break down food to release energy. Yes, option C is the correct answer. Next one, why is diffusion insufficient in multicellular organisms? We have already discussed for unicellular, so this is for multicellular. Option A, cells are too large. Option B, body surface is impermeable. Option C, not all cells are in contact with the environment. Option D, diffusion is slower in water. So what will be the answer for this? Why diffusion is insufficient in multicellular organisms? Yes, option C will be the correct answer because not all the cells that are multicellular organisms, as I've said. So the cells, we have a complex structure. So we are not exposed out to the outside environment. The cells inside our body are not exposed to the outside environment. That's why the diffusion is not sufficient in multicellular organisms. Okay. Okay, next one. Which organisms prepare organic compounds directly from carbon dioxide and water? Okay, think and answer. Fungi, option B, animals, option C, autotrophs, option D, parasites. So, which organisms out of these four prepare organic compounds directly from carbon dioxide and water? Okay, yes. What will be the correct answer? You want me to explain the question? Okay. Hi. Which कौन सा organisms out of these four? Okay, options दिया हुआ है fungi, animals, autotrophs, parasites. जो organic compounds बनाता है from carbon dioxide and water. So what will be the correct option here? So you should know what is fungi, what is autotroph, parasites. Okay, so answer is option C, that is autotrophs. Okay, not heterotrophs, autotrophs. So that means plants. Okay, yes, we are talking about plants. So plants क्या कहते हैं? Carbon dioxide, water लेके photosynthesis करके, that means we are using or we are preparing organic compounds from inorganic compounds, right? वो photosynthesis में पढ़ा था, right? So this is from carbon dioxide and water. Okay, this one. Okay, again once again, why is diffusion insufficient in multicellular? अभी देखो unicellular organisms का क्या होता है? एक ही सेल होता है. So if it is one cell, so what is happening? It is from all sides. Suppose amoeba ले लो, तो उसका सेल एक ही है. तो वो क्या होता है? Outside environment के साथ हर एक part of the cell is exposed from all sides, right? And so सब जगह से it is exposed. Suppose this is amoeba, ये चारों तरफ से it is exposed to the environment. So that means that's why from diffusion से ही काम चला लेते हैं. But in multicellular organisms like humans, animals, birds, उसमें क्या आता है? It is not one single cell. We have multiple cells, and cells forms organs. Organ forms organ system, right? तो उससे क्या होता है? The complete body is complex structure. तो हर एक cell expose नहीं होता है body का outside environment के साथ. That's why see diffusion is not enough for in multicellular organisms. Okay, is it clear now? Okay, next one. Photosynthesis requires all except, okay, out of these four, photosynthesis will require all except one. Which one is it? Is it chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, oxygen, sunlight? Out of this four, you have to say which one is not required for photosynthesis. So the answer will be, what will be the answer? Okay, one. Option C. It's not B, it is C. Okay, that is oxygen. Okay, बाकी क्लोरोफिल चाहिए होता है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होता है, सनलाइट चाहिए होता है, ऑक्सीजन इज रिलीज्ड, यूज नहीं करते हैं, ऑक्सीजन इज रिलीज ड्यूरिंग फोटोसिंथेसिस, सो इट विल बी सी नॉट बी. ओके. ओके, सो दैट्स सो फर्स्ट चैप्टर इज ओवर, लाइफ प्रोसेस खत्म हो गया. चलो अब नेक्स्ट चैप्टर फटाफट स्टार्ट करते हैं. दैट इज योर कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन रिगार्डिंग हार्मोन्स, ब्रेन, वो सब पढ़ेंगे अभी. ठीक है, चलो. A person suffers from frequent urination and excessive thirst. Which hormone is most likely deficient? एक बंदा है, ही इज हैविंग फ्रीक्वेंट यूरिनेशन, उसको बार बार यूरिनेशन का प्रॉब्लम है, वो बार बार बाथरूम जा रहा है यूरिनेट करने के लिए, एंड उसको बहुत ज़्यादा प्यास लग रहा है. ओके, नॉर्मल से ज़्यादा प्यास लगता रहता है एनी टाइम. तो कौन सा हार्मोन डेफिशिएंट की वजह से ये हो रहा है? इज इट इंसुलिन, इज इट थायरोक्सिन, is it ADH, or is it adrenaline? Okay, A. Many of you are going for A. Let's see. No, it is ADH. Okay, insulin sugar के लिए, लेकिन that is not the cause for urination and excessive thirst. ADH अगर hormone deficiency होगा body में, then because ADH is responsible for controlling the urine formation and or water content in our body. Okay, retain करने के लिए. तो अगर ADH hormone कम हो जाएगा then और deficient होगा, तब क्या होगा, प्रॉब्लम होगा. You'll have frequent urination because water retention कम हो जाएगा बॉडी में. So water, excess of water will be produced and even thirst भी लगेगा because urination हो रहा है, that means water loss भी हो रहा है, तो तुमको पानी पीने का मन करेगा एनी टाइम. ओके, यस. ओके, सो दिस इज द, सो ADH का फुल फॉर्म क्या है? एंटी डाययूरेटिक हार्मोन, also known as vasopressin. Okay, so remember this is important. Vasopressin is another name for ADH, that is anti-diuretic hormone. So it's a hormone that is produced in the hypothalamus and released by the pituitary gland. Okay, so what is its function? It regulates the water balance, blood pressure, वो सब बैलेंस करके रखता है. ठीक है, और क्या करता है? इट सिग्नल्स द किडनी टू रीअब्सॉर्ब वाटर, रिड्यूसिंग यूरिन आउटपुट एंड रिटेनिंग फ्लूइड्स. अगर ये खराब हो गया तो ये किडनी को सिग्नल नहीं दे पाएगा वाटर को रीअब्सॉर्ब करने के लिए, एंड यूरिन आउटपुट क्या होगा? यूरिन फॉर्मेशन ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू विल गो फॉर फ्रीक्वेंट यूरिनेशन, एंड प्यास भी ज़्यादा लगेगी बिकॉज यू आर लूजिंग वाटर. सो इट इज रिलीज बाय द पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड, लेकिन प्रोड्यूस होता है हाइपोथैलेमस इन द ब्रेन. ओके, ADH हार्मोन इज रिक्वायर्ड. ओके, ADH हार्मोन भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट हार्मोन है, पढ़ना है. ठीक है, इंसुलिन, थायरोक्सिन, एड्रेनालिन वी ऑल नो, बट वी जनरली इग्नोर ADH, लेकिन ADH भी इम्पॉर्टेंट एक इम्पॉर्टेंट हार्मोन है. सो नाउ यू नो. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वन. Which hormone controls blood sugar level in human body? This is easy one. Thyroxine, insulin, estrogen, testosterone. Which one will be the answer? So you know, estrogen is female hormone, testosterone male hormone, insulin पता है, thyroxine पता है. So which one will control the blood sugar? So it is option B, that is insulin. Okay, yes, insulin is the correct option, that is option B. Next one, sensory nerve of a reflex arc carries information from the receptor cells to the, so from receptor cells where it will carry. You know the reflex arc, flowchart मालूम है. So if you know, sensory nerve information लेके receptor से कहाँ किसको भेजेगा? Is it spinal cord? Is it brain? Is it muscles of the effector organ? Or is it bones of the receptor organs? Okay, so the correct answer will be option A. Okay, it will be the spinal cord. So that's the answer. So you should reflex arc, very very important. Please उसको पढ़ो. So this is how it works. Stimulus मतलब तुम touch करोगे, सुनोगे, देखोगे. Okay, that is the stimulus, right? Through the sense organ. That it will go to the receptor, then sensory neuron, then relay neuron जो spinal cord में होता है, then it will go to motor neuron, and then your effector muscles, whichever if it is leg, if it is arms, then it will be that one, or if it is skin, and then the response क्या करोगे उसके बाद, right? So that's the flow chart for reflex arc. So that's, so from sensory neuron तो यहाँ पे spinal cord होगा through the receptor cells से, सेंसरी न्यूरन लेके जाएगा स्पाइनल कॉर्ड, दैट इज योर रिले न्यूरन. ओके. Next one, the part in which gustatory receptors are present in our body is, you know the different receptors, gustatory, olfactory receptors, है ना. तो gustatory receptors सब कहाँ पे present है? Is it inner ear, skin, tongue or inner lining of the nose? Which of the five sense organs में होता है gustatory receptors? Okay, so correct answer is tongue. So gustatory is for taste, so that is present in tongue. Okay, olfactory means nose, so that way you can remember. Yes, C is the correct answer. Next one, assertion. The brain allows us to think and take actions based on thinking. Okay, and reason is the hindbrain is the main thinking part of the brain, which is regions which receive sensory impulses from various receptors. Okay, so tell me what will be the correct answer. Is it correct? You see the statement first. Okay, which one is correct, which one is wrong. So hindbrain is the main thinking part of the brain. Is it true? Which is regions which receive sensory impulses from various receptors. First you see whether the statement. Okay, you are going for C. A is true, R is false. Yes, very good. Okay, so first part is yes, correct. Brain helps us to think and do actions based on that. And reason, hindbrain is not responsible for thinking part. Okay, hindbrain का function ये नहीं है. Thinking वाला part, which is the thinking part, that is the cerebrum, right, front part of the brain. Okay, so this is your human brain, right? So this is the forebrain. Okay, so here is your midbrain, this is a midbrain, and this is a hindbrain. This part is a hindbrain. Okay, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, pons, these three forms falls under hindbrain. So this is the structure of brain का structure and functions please पढ़ लेना. Okay, so very important. तो ये भी पढ़ना ज़रूरी है diagram के साथ. Okay, and the functions I've said, so you see. So all these are part of the hindbrain. Okay, brain में ये सब आता है. Balance, coordination, feel, consciousness, breathing, blood pressure, heartbeat, all these are parts of the hindbrain. Okay, not the thinking one. थिंकिंग वाला फ्रंटल लोब में होता है. देखो, मेमोरी, स्पीकिंग, थिंकिंग, ये फोर ब्रेन में होता है. ओके, सेरेब्रम. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. Name the part of the brain which is responsible for the following actions. Option A, maintaining posture and balance. No, it's not options, you have to name it. Okay, chalo, this is big. Concentrate here. Maintaining posture and balance कौन सा part of the brain करता है? Beating of the heart कौन सा part of the brain? Thinking, and the last one is blood pressure. I've already given you the diagram, so tell me the answers. Which part of the brain maintains posture and balance? Okay, so these are the answers. So the first answer for posture and balance, it is cerebellum. Beating of the heartbeat होता है medulla. Okay, that is your involuntary actions जो होता है. Thinking, cerebrum, blood pressure, medulla. Okay, so involuntary actions जो होगा, that will fall under your medulla. Okay, and posture and balance comes under cerebellum. Okay, yes. So again, once again, you can take the screenshot of this. Okay, so here already the functions are given in gist, so you can remember this way. Okay, it will be easy. Okay, next one. Now coming to the plant hormones. In plants, the role of cytokinin is promote cell division, wilting of leaves, promoting the opening of stomatal pore, yeah, help in the growth of the stem. What is the role of cytokinin? So the correct answer is option A, promotes cell division. Cytokinin promotes cell division. Okay, so you should know all this. Okay, I'll share the PDF soon. Okay. Assertion. Plant hormones are chemicals produced in plants which help to coordinate growth, development, and response to stimulus and environment. And the reason is abscisic acid is a plant hormone that promotes cell division. So what is the correct answer? What will be the correct options here? बोला है कि plant hormones are chemicals होता है that are produced in plants जो हेल्प करता है ग्रोथ, डेवलपमेंट एंड रेस्पॉन्स टू स्टिमुलस एंड एनवायरनमेंट. एंड रीजन बोला है एब्सिसिक एसिड प्लांट हार्मोन है जिसके वजह से सेल डिवीजन होता है. सो व्हाट विल बी द करेक्ट ऑप्शन? See the statements. Okay, you are going for C. So yes, very good. First statement is correct, but reason statement is false. Okay, it's not about abscisic acid to promote cell division. That is not correct. Okay, so cell division just now we have studied, it is cytokinin, not abscisic acid. Okay, next one. Yes. Okay, once only you will write the answer, Ayush. Okay, next one. Reflex arc works faster than thinking process of brain. Assertion. Okay, and reason statement is reflex arc works in case of those animals who do not have thinking process. So what will be the answer? See the statements. Are both the statements correct or not? Reflex arc works faster than thinking process, and reflex arc works in case of those animals who do not have thinking process. Okay. So option C is the correct answer. Yes. And it is not B because first wala correct hai. Reason assertion statement is correct. Reason is wrong. Okay. Reflex arc work in case of those who don't. वो वैसा जरूरी नहीं है कि only that do not have thinking process. The ones who have thinking process उसका वहाँ पे भी reflex arc work करता है. Okay. So it is wrong. Second statement is wrong. So A is true, R is false. Next one. Which of the following access both endocrine and exocrine gland? Adrenal gland, is it pituitary gland, ovaries or pancreas? I hope you know endocrine and exocrine gland. This is also important. Difference पढ़ लेना. What is endocrine gland, what is exocrine gland, उसका difference पढ़ लेना. एक होता है duct. ओके, और एक होता है डायरेक्टली जो ब्लड में रिलीज करता है, और एक होता है जो केमिकल्स थ्रू डक्ट से रिलीज होता है. वन हैज डक्ट, वन डज नॉट हैव डक्ट. वन इज डक्टलेस, वन इज डक्ट. ओके, सो इज इट A, B, C or D? Okay, so answer is D. Very good. Pancreas. So pancreas is the only organ which acts both as endocrine and exocrine gland. ये question is very common. So please keep a note of it. ठीक है? So you see here, that's the pancreas, right? So pancreas का देखो वो दोनों है, endocrine and exocrine gland. Exocrine gland यहाँ पे, endocrine is here. Okay. So if you see, so islets, endocrine gland कहाँ पे काम करेगा? Where it is present in the islets of Langerhans. ये भी याद रखना, ठीक है? So ये जो हार्मोन है वो डायरेक्टली ब्लड वेसल्स को रिलीज करेगा. whereas exocrine glands is through acinar cells जो डाइजेस्टिव एंजाइम सिक्रेट करेगा into the pancreatic duct. Okay, यहाँ पे pancreatic ducts होता है तो वहाँ पे रिलीज कर देगा. Okay, so endocrine gland will directly release because they are ductless glands, तो ये directly blood में release कर देगा. Okay, whereas exocrine are they contain duct, इसके वजह से the enzymes will be released in the ducts. I hope I'm clear. Next one. Which of the following is not associated with plant growth? Is it auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin or abscisic acid? The one which is not associated with plant growth. What will be the answer? The answer is option D, that is abscisic acid. Okay, abscisic acid is not associated with plant growth. Baki tino, it is associated with plant growth. Okay. Next one. The main effect of cytokinin in plants is to, okay, again, function of cytokinin, improve the quality of fruits, prevent the growth of lateral buds, regulates the opening and closing of stomata, or it stimulates cell division. Okay, all are going for D. Yes, very good. It stimulates cell division. Already we have discussed this one. Next one. How many pairs of cranial nerves are present in human? Right? Spinal nerve, cranial nerves, ये सब पढ़ लेना. तो how many pairs होता है? It is option E, that is 12. 12 pairs होता है, that means total of 24. 12 pairs of cranial nerves रहता है. Remember this one, okay? This question is also common. How many pairs are there? Okay. It's not 31, it's 12. Next one. The highest coordinating center in the human body is it spinal cord, heart, brain or kidney? The highest coordinating center. So remember, as I say, स्टार्टिंग में बोला है, एक नोटबुक रखो बगल में, टॉपिक्स लिखते जाओ, कौन कौन सा में डाउट हो रहा है. गो बैक एंड रीड इट आफ्टर द क्लास. Okay, so here the answer is highest coordinating center in human body is the brain. Okay, so brain only coordinates everything. Easy one. Next one. A part of the body which responds to instructions sent from nervous system is called a part of the body which responds to instructions sent from the nervous system is called, is it receptors, effectors, nerves or muscles? जो instructions nervous system से आया है, then what is that part of the body called? जो nervous system से आ रहा है. Answer is effectors. Okay, so once from the system, your brain and the spinal cord, they receives the signal, so they will send it through the effector where it is getting affected, right? So that through that, so that's why the answer will be effector. The substance that results in the fall of mature leaves and fruits from plants is due to auxin, gibberellin. ABA means abscisic acid. Okay, and option D is cytokinin. So which one is responsible for the fall of mature leaves and fruits? That is option C, that is abscisic acid. Okay, so abscisic acid will result in the fall of mature. जैसे leaves सब पत्ते सब झड़ जाते हैं ना, so that is your because of abscisic acid. And even the fruits that fall down, so that is also because of abscisic acid. That is ABA. Yes. Next one. Which nerve transmits impulses from the central nervous system towards muscle cells? Sensory nerve, motor nerves, relay nerves or cranial nerves? Is it A, B, C or D? So the correct answer for the nerve that transmits impulses from central nervous system to the muscle cells is motor nerves. Okay, the muscle cells से पहले motor nerves आएगा. So this will transmit it to your muscle cells. Okay, yes, B is the correct answer. Good. Next one. Breathing is controlled by which part of the brain? Cerebrum, cerebellum, hypothalamus, medulla oblongata. Okay, so the correct answer is option D, that is medulla or medulla oblongata. Okay, so it's not B or it's D. Okay, the last option. So breathing B, medulla oblongata control karta because it's an involuntary action. Next one. Main function of abscisic acid in plants is, again, so you have just now studied, to promote cell division, to inhibit growth, to promote growth of stem or to increase length of the cell. What will be the option here? So the correct answer is option B, to inhibit growth. Okay, so abscisic acid will inhibit the growth of the plants. Next one. Plant hormone that promotes dormancy in seeds and buds. Is it auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid? कौन सा वाला प्लांट हार्मोन प्रोमोट्स डॉर्मेंसी, मतलब सीड्स से प्लांट नहीं होगा, दैट इज जर्मिनेशन विल नॉट ऑकर, बर्ड से फ्लावरिंग नहीं होगा, सो दैट विल स्टॉप. ओके, डॉर्मेंसी मतलब स्टॉप कर देंगे. सो विच हार्मोन इज रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट? ओके, सो करेक्ट आंसर इज एब्सिसिक एसिड. एब्सिसिक एसिड ग्रोथ रोक देगा, डॉर्मेंसी भी रोकता है. ओके, नॉट ओनली ग्रोथ, इट ऑल्सो स्टॉप्स, इट ऑल्सो प्रोमोट्स डॉर्मेंसी. मतलब सीड्स एंड बड्स को फर्दर जो नेक्स्ट स्टेप होगा, जैसे सीड से जर्मिनेट करने के लिए, सो दैट दोज थिंग्स विल नॉट अकर. सो डॉर्मेंसी के लिए तुमको दैट विल बिकॉज ऑफ द हार्मोन एब्सिसिक एसिड. ओके, रिमेंबर दिस. Okay, now coming to the geotropic, phototropic, those things. Okay, roots of plants are positively geotropic, negatively geotropic, positively phototropic, none of this. Which one is the correct option? So roots, they grow towards gravity, yes or no? So that means we are talking about geotropic. Now is it positive or is it negative? इतना हिंट बोल दिया. So it is positively geotropic. Okay, because it is growing towards the direction of gravity, so towards gravity, so that's why it is positively geotropic. Negative means against the gravity. That means अगर मैं बोलूँगी leaves of the plants or the shoot of the plants, it is growing this upwards, that means it is going against the gravity, that will be negatively geotropic. Okay, yes, A is the correct option. Next one, assertion reasoning. Okay, impulse travels from dendrite to cell body and then along the axon to its end. I hope you remember the nerve cell, neuron का structure वो भी important है. Okay, remember that. Reason: information acquired at the end of the dendrite tip of a nerve cell sets off an electric impulse. अब बोलो if it is correct or wrong. First state, see the statements. Dendrite से बोला कि impulse will travel from dendrite to cell body. Dendrite से cell body में जाएगा and then to the axon to the end. रीजन बोला है जो इंफॉर्मेशन एंड डेंड्राइट के टिप में होगा, एंड ऑफ द डेंड्राइट टिप में, वो वाला नर्व ऑफ अ नर्व सेल सेट्स ऑफ एन इलेक्ट्रिक इम्पल्स. Okay, let's see the answer. So no, it is not option C. It is both the statements are correct and R is the explanation of correct explanation of A. Okay, जो dendrite tree पे information जो it will gather from in a particular neuron from another neuron, it will pass down, right? So उस dendrite tree में जो information acquire होगा, it will convert to an electric impulse. Only the electrical impulse will travel from the dendrite to the cell body and then to the axon and again to the nerve endings, and again it will pass on to the next dendrite cell or the next neuron cell. Okay, so it is option A. So both are correct and correct explanation also. So that's a neuron, right? Remember the diagram. So यहाँ पे जो information gather होगा dendrite part, from here it will convert that information to electrical impulse, तभी वो travel कर पाएगा. Okay, that information will travel in the form of electrical impulse, फिर इधर से pass होके फिर next another neuron से transfer हो जाएगा. Okay, next one. Which of the following is not a ductless gland? मतलब just now a few minutes back we have talked about endocrine exocrine gland. So which is not a ductless gland? Adrenal, liver, thyroid, pituitary. So which one is not a ductless gland? कौन सा gland ductless नहीं है, मतलब it has ducts. Okay, so the answer is option B, liver. So liver is a duct. It contains duct. Okay, so ये rest are ductless glands, but liver is not a ductless gland. Okay, yes. Next one. Which statement is incorrect about thyroxine? Thyroxine hormone. Okay, so you have to say which one is incorrect. Thyroid gland requires iodine to synthesize thyroxine. Thyroxine is also called thyroid hormone. Now, option C, it regulates protein, carbohydrates, and fat metabolism in the body. Option D, iron is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. कौन सा ऑप्शन इसमें से is incorrect, जो गलत है, कौन सा वाला है? Ductless मतलब just now I have seen the one which does not contain duct. Okay, जो directly bloodstream में release करेगा, those are called as ductless gland. Okay, let's see the answer. So here option D is the correct answer. That is, this is wrong. Okay, iron is not essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. Okay, this is the wrong statement. This all three are correct. Okay, the brain is lodged inside the cavity of skull known as, is it pyometer, durameter, cranium or meninges? Brain skull cavity के अंदर में होता है, जो अंदर वाला पार्ट जो होता है स्कल का, व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड? इज इट पायोमीटर, ड्यूरामीटर, क्रेनियम और मेनिंजेस? ओके, it is not D, it is C. Okay, so option C, that is cranium. Okay, the bony part, that is cranium. So brain is present inside the cranium. Yes, C. Next question. Hormone which regulates the growth of roots. Root growth, which hormone is used? Is it cytokinin, auxin, gibberellin or abscisic acid? So the correct answer will be auxin. Okay, so auxin promotes root growth as well as shoot tip, right? So auxin हमेशा tip of the plant पे रहता है. It can be the tip of the shoot or it is tip of the roots. Okay, so there it promotes growth. So auxin is the correct answer, not C. It is option B. Okay, next one. Medulla oblongata in humans is primarily responsible for, option A, balancing and coordination of movements. Option B, control of voluntary actions. Option C, reflex actions such as breathing and heartbeat. Option D, visual processing. Which one is the correct option here? Okay, so the correct answer. So option C, those have answered option C, they are correct. So it is reflex actions such as breathing, heartbeat. Okay, this falls under medulla. Next one. Which of the following correctly explains why impulses in a neuron travel in one direction only? Okay. जो electrical impulse होता है, just now we have talked about neuron. So why it is one direction? Why not two direction? Okay. एक तरफ से क्यों जाता है वो, दोनों तरफ से क्यों नहीं जाता, उल्टा क्यों नहीं जाता है, डेंड्राइट से एक्सन के तरफ क्यों जाता है, नॉट फ्रॉम एक्सन टू अ डेंड्राइट, उल्टा नहीं जाता, राइट? सो व्हाट इज द आंसर, रीजन बिहाइंड इट? ऑप्शन ए, एक्सन्स आर इंसुलेटेड बाय माइलिन शीट. Option B, synaptic vessels are present only in the axon terminal. Option C, sodium potassium pump works in one direction only. Option D, all dendrites are non-conductive. So what will be the correct answer here? Which will explain impulses in a neuron travel in one direction? Okay, let's see the answer. So option B is the correct answer. Okay, not D, it is B. Synaptic vessels are present only in axon terminal. Excuse me. मतलब क्या होता है? सो व्हाट, आई होप यू नो व्हाट इज सिनेप्टिक वेसल्स. सिनेप्टिक वेसल मतलब सिनेप्स, जहाँ पे है ना द पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट बिटवीन वन न्यूरॉन टू अनदर न्यूरॉन, जंक्शन ऑफ टू न्यूरॉन्स इज कॉल्ड व्हाट, सिनेप्स. जहाँ पे एक नर्व एंडिंग्स ऑफ वन न्यूरॉन जॉइंस द डेंड्राइट ऑफ अनदर नर्व सेल, राइट? तो उस पोर्शन को बोलते हैं सिनेप्स. तो वहाँ पे बिकॉज सिनेप्स इज प्रेजेंट ओनली एट द एक्सन टर्मिनल में, इसलिए इट इज वन डायरेक्शन. ओके, next one. Which plant hormone promotes fruit ripening? Ethylene, cytokinin, gibberellin, abscisic acid. What will be the correct answer? So option is ethylene. Ethylene gas helps in fruit ripening, right? That's why we say no gas wala fruits nahi khana chahiye, because what gas is that? That is nothing but ethylene gas. Okay, so ethylene gas helps in ripening of the fruits. पहले ही तुम अगर इथिलीन कच्चा fruits में, if you raw fruits, if you put ethylene injection, so what will happen, that it will ripe early. Okay, yes, option A. Next one, the part of the brain which maintains posture and balance in the human body is cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla, pons. We have already discussed. Now you tell me fatafat. Okay, so cerebellum is the correct answer. So medulla, it will be cerebellum. Posture and balance is always cerebellum. Remember that way. Okay. Next one. Then yes, I'm going for the one shot video. Okay, I'm not going to do biology related to MCQ like for the time being. This is one shot video, so it is going to be a bit late today. Okay. The bending of the shoot towards light is due to the movement of which hormone? Is it cytokinin, auxin, gibberellin, ethylene? This one is a common question. So the shoot will bend towards light because of which hormone? Yes, very good. Option B, that is auxin. Right? Auxin कहाँ पे होगा? जिस तरफ light नहीं गिरता है, that in that part of the plant shoot, what will happen? Auxin will accumulate there. Auxin release होगा और auxin वहाँ पे accumulate होगा, जिसके वजह से bending of the shoot will take place towards the light. Okay. Okay, next one. Which statement is false about reflex action? You have to say which one is false. Reflex acts are controlled by the brain. Reflex actions are involuntary. Reflex arcs involve sensory and motor neurons. Reflex action helps in protecting the body. Which one is false here? So the correct answer is A. Very good. So option A is the correct one. Reflex acts are controlled by the brain, which is wrong. Okay, reflex acts are not controlled by the brain. It is controlled by the spinal cord. So that is the wrong statement. Yes. Next one. Which part of the brain is the largest and responsible for intelligence, memory, and reasoning? Medulla, cerebellum, cerebrum, hypothalamus. So which one is the largest and responsible for intelligence, memory, and reasoning? Yes, very good. So here option C is the correct one, that is cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum is the largest part of your brain, so that controls the intelligence part, memory part, and logical reasoning also. Okay, it's option C. Next one. Why do some plants exhibit phototropism? options are due to uneven distribution of auxins, due to influence of cytokinin on root cells, because of change in gibberellin concentration, or because of light's direct effect on xylem. So there we have to say which of this is the exact reason for plants that exhibit phototropism. What is phototropism? That is movement of plants towards light. Okay, the hint is that one. So the option is A, due to uneven distribution of auxin. Okay, so it is related to auxin. Next one. What happens if cerebellum of the brain is damaged? Now you know the function of cerebellum. We have already discussed. So option A, loss of intelligence. Option B, inability to regulate emotions. Option C, lack of muscle coordination and balance. Option D, disruption in hormonal regulation. So what will be the option here? See the question properly. अगर cerebellum डैमेज हो गया तो क्या होगा? Yes, option C. Okay, मसल कोऑर्डिनेशन एंड बैलेंस सेरिबेलम करता है ना, सो दैट्स वाई. तो क्या होगा अगर सेरिबेलम डैमेज होगा तो मसल कोऑर्डिनेशन नहीं रहेगा, बॉडी बैलेंस नहीं रहेगा. ओके, सो ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. यस. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. Movement of Mimosa pudica plant. I hope you know touch me not plant. Scientific name of touch me not plant is Mimosa pudica. Once again, keep a note of it. Okay, Mimosa pudica is the scientific name of touch me not plant or chew me plant, right? So movement of Mimosa pudica plant when touched is an example of which one? Option A, phototropism. Option B, geotropism. Option C, thigmonasty. Option D, hydrotropism. What type of movement is it? Yes, very good. Option C, thigmonastic movement. Okay. Next one. Which part of neuron receives incoming signals? Axon, axon terminal, dendrites, synaptic vesicles. So which one is the correct answer? Which part of neuron receives incoming signals? So the correct answer is option C, dendrites. So first the dendrites will receive the signal and then it will transmit to the other parts. Okay. Next one. Which of the following correctly describes the role of hypothalamus? So you have to say the function of hypothalamus. Option A, controls voluntary muscle movement. Option B, regulates body temperature and hunger. Option C, maintains balance and posture. Option D, controls reflex action. Okay, so what will be the answer? Option B. Okay, not C, it is option B, that is regulates body temperature and hunger. Okay, if you are feeling hungry, that is controlled by the hypothalamus. Okay, body temperature high हो रहा है, low हो रहा है, that is being controlled by hypothalamus. Okay, so remember this one. Next one. Hormones secreted by adrenal glands in response to stress will be thyroxine. Option B, insulin. Option C, adrenaline or glucagon. Which of this out of this four, which one is secreted by adrenal glands? What will be the answer? So the correct answer is option C, that is adrenaline. Okay. Next one. Plant hormone involved in breaking of seed dormancy is. So which plant hormone will you use to break the seed dormancy? Already we have studied dormancy will be created by abscisic acid, right? Now which hormone will you use to break that seed dormancy? So is it cytokinin, auxin, gibberellin or abscisic acid? Okay, let's see the answer. So gibberellin you will use. Okay, so option C is the correct answer to break the seed dormancy. Okay, it's not D. Abscisic acid डॉर्मेंसी को प्रमोट करता है. ओके, बट गिबरेलिन वो डॉर्मेंसी को तोड़ने के लिए यू नीड सम हार्मोन, राइट? तो वो दैट इज योर गिबरेलिन. ओके, नॉट एब्सिसिक एसिड. ऑपोजिट है दोनों. Identify the part of the brain responsible for sight and controlling salivation. Which one will you say? Sight के लिए कौन सा part of the brain responsible होता है and for salivation control? Okay, so answer is for sight it is cerebrum. Okay, vision is cerebrum. Controlling salivation is medulla. जो मैंने बोला involuntary actions है, तो those are being controlled by the medulla. Okay. Write the function of gustatory and olfactory receptor. We already talked about gustatory. Gustatory is through tongue, that is taste. Olfactory is nose, so smell. Okay, so taste and smell. That is the answer for this two. Receptors पढ़ लेना अच्छे से. Okay, all the receptors you study. Okay, which hormone is responsible for changes noticed in female at puberty? And next question, dwarfism results due to a deficiency of which hormone? Number C, blood sugar level rises due to deficiency of which hormone? And option and number D, iodine is necessary for synthesis of which hormone? So इसमें सारा क्वेश्चंस हार्मोन के ऊपर है. ओके, फीमेल का प्यूबर्टी में कौन सा हार्मोन है? दैट इज नथिंग बट फीमेल हार्मोन के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं. ड्वार्फिज्म किसके लिए होता है? ब्लड शुगर लेवल कब राइज होता है? कौन सा हार्मोन की वजह से? आयोडीन क्यों इज नेसेसरी फॉर सिंथेसिस ऑफ which hormone? Okay, so yes, estrogen for the first answer. Second answer will be growth hormone, right? Growth hormone अगर कम रिलीज हुआ तो it will be dwarfism. अगर ज़्यादा हुआ तो gigantism बोलते हैं उसको, है ना? ब्लड शुगर लेवल विल राइज बिकॉज ऑफ इंसुलिन. डिफिशियंसी ऑफ इंसुलिन होगा तो ब्लड शुगर लेवल राइज हो जाएगा. एंड आयोडीन की जरूरत है बिकॉज फॉर थायरोक्सिन हार्मोन के लिए. ओके, यस, गुड. नेक्स्ट वन, fatty acids are not transported directly through blood after absorption. Why is that? Okay, why is that? Option A, they are insoluble in water. Option B, they require ATP. Option C, blood capillaries are absent. Option D, they are toxic to blood. What will be the answer? Why is fatty acids not transported directly through blood after absorption? Okay, so the correct answer is they are insoluble in water. Okay, that is why they are not transported directly through blood after absorption. Okay, so this part is over. Let's go to the next one. That is your reproduction part. Okay, next we are moving to a reproduction chapter. Rohan observed that hydra reproduces faster in summer than in winter. The most appropriate explanation is option A, increased sunlight directly induces budding. Option B, higher temperature increases metabolic activity. Option C, more oxygen is available in water. Option D, hydras store food in summer. Okay, so tell me the answer for this. समर में हाइड्रा का जो रिप्रोडक्शन है, यू नो व्हाट इज हाइड्रा, राइट? उसका रिप्रोडक्शन फास्टर होता है कंपेयर टू विंटर. क्यों होता है? So answer is B. Very good. Higher temperature will increase the metabolic activity का increase ज़्यादा. If it becomes faster, then reproduction will also become faster in hydra. Pons I have already told. Medulla oblongata, your pons, all this they are. I have already given you the structure of the brain, right? That time I have already explained. Go through it once again, okay? Which statement best explains why sexual reproduction leads to variation? Asexual reproduction does not. Okay, so यहाँ पे पूछा है sexual reproduction leads to variation, लेकिन asexual reproduction variation नहीं करता है. What is the reason behind it? Option A, gametes are haploid. Option B, DNA copying is inaccurate only in sexual reproduction. Option C, fusion of genetically different gametes occurs. Option D, meiosis produces identical cells. Okay, so what will be the correct answer? That is option C, that is fusion of genetically different gametes. Okay, in the sexual reproduction, different gametes are involved. Asexual reproduction में only single parent is involved, right? Whereas in sexual reproduction, gametes are involved. So that is why variation will occur, because different gametes, male and female gametes, are fused together, right? In sexual reproduction, उसके वजह से variation will also occur. Remember this, okay? This is an important one. Okay, next one. If a planaria is cut into 3 pieces, 3 new individuals form because option A, each piece has identical DNA and regenerative cells. Option B, only head region can regenerate. Option C, mitosis occur only in tail region. Option D, fragments undergo meiosis. I hope you remember planaria. Okay, all those structures you remember. Okay, hydra, planaria, amoeba. This is important. So अगर प्लेनेरिया को 3 पीस में काटोगे, so 3 new individuals are formed. Now why is it? Which option is the correct one? So the correct answer is A. Okay, good. So each piece has identical DNA. इसके वजह से क्या, and regenerative cells should also be there. तभी तीनों pieces regrow होके complete organism बनेगा. If regenerative cells are not there, then it cannot form a new organism. Okay, जैसे lizard में सिर्फ tail grow होता है, right? अगर lizard का head part काटोगे तो it cannot regenerate because उसमें regenerative cells नहीं होते. Okay. Which of the following processes ensure a maintenance of chromosome number in sexually reproducing organisms? Okay, तुमको यहाँ पे बताना है कि chromosome number is maintained during in sexually reproducing organisms. Okay, जो organisms undergoes sexual reproduction, उसमें chromosome number maintained होता है. क्यों maintained होता है? Same number of chromosomes are maintained. Is it because of mitosis and fertilization? Is it because of meiosis and mitosis? Is it because of meiosis plus fertilization, or is it binary fusion? Okay, so we are talking about sexually reproducing organisms. So what will be the correct answer? So it is option C, that is meiosis plus fertilization. Okay, so meiosis in sexual reproduction, meiosis will also there, plus fertilization is also there. So that will maintain the chromosome number in the individual. Okay. Okay, next one. In humans, the sex of the child is determined by type of ovum, environment of uterus, chromosome carried by sperm, or hormones secreted by mother. So how is the sex of the child determined? So that is nothing but option C, chromosomes carried by the sperm. The male sperm means we are talking about the male. The male that is the sperm will determine whether it will become a girl child or a boy child. Why? Because the male sperm contains both X and Y chromosome, right? Female contains only XX chromosomes. So so that's why only the sperm will determine, not the ovum. Okay? Don't make the mistake. Next one. Vegetative propagation is preferred over sexual reproduction in potato because option A requires pollination, option B produces genetically identical plants, option C increases variation, option D it is slower. So why will you use vegetative propagation in potato rather than sexual reproduction? Okay, so you should know the advantages of vegetative propagation. Okay, so इसमें option B will be correct. So always remember, अगर तुमको identical plants चाहिए, same तरह का plants चाहिए, then you will go for vegetative propagation. Okay, so उसमें genetically identical plants will be produced. So that's why we'll go for vegetative propagation. Sexual reproduction के लिए pollination की ज़रूरत है. Okay, variation के लिए sexual reproduction ज़रूरत है. Okay, and sexual reproduction is slower than vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation faster होता है. Okay, remember these properties. Next one, which of the following would not be a disadvantage of asexual reproduction? कौन सा वाला disadvantage नहीं होगा for asexual reproduction? Lack of variation, reduced adaptability, rapid population growth, evolution slows down. कौन सा वाला disadvantage नहीं होगा? Okay. So the correct answer is option C, rapid population growth. Okay, so that will not be a disadvantage for asexual reproduction. If you want huge population of a particular plant और कम time में ज़्यादा plants चाहिए, then you'll go for asexual reproduction क्योंकि उसमें rapid population growth होता है. Okay. Yes, C is the correct option. Which event occurs only in sexual reproduction and not in asexual reproduction? Is it DNA replication, cell division, gamete fusion, or growth? So you have to say in sexual reproduction which event will occur and which one will not occur in asexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction में होगा लेकिन asexual reproduction में नहीं होगा. So what will be the answer here? So the correct answer is gamete fusion. Okay, why? Because in sexual reproduction gamete fusion will occur. Gametes होता है इसलिए gamete fusion होगा. Asexual reproduction no gametes are involved. One parent is involved तो उसमें gamete fusion होता ही नहीं. Okay, cell division दोनों में होता है. So growth दोनों में होता है तो only difference is gamete fusion. Okay, yes, C is the correct option. Next one. In flowering plants, double fertilization ensures option A formation of 2 embryos, option B nourishment for developing embryo, option C rapid seed dispersal, option D formation of pollen tube. डबल फर्टिलाइजेशन क्या करता है out of these four options? So it is option B, that is nourishment for developing embryo. Okay, so that is the correct option. A farmer propagates sugarcane by stem cutting for many years. Okay, stem cutting says sugarcane, he has been propagating sugarcane, that is vegetative propagation kya hai, okay, for many years. After some time, all plants became susceptible to a disease. The most likely reason is option A, absence of fertilization, option B, accumulation of genetic variation, option C, lack of genetic diversity, option D, poor soil nutrients. Okay, so here is so the hint is stem cutting, मतलब वेजिटेटिव प्रोपागेशन. सो डिसएडवांटेज ऑफ वेजिटेटिव प्रोपागेशन के बारे में भी पता होना चाहिए. ओके, एंड एडवांटेजेस ऑफ सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन. तो इसमें डिसएडवांटेज वाला का आंसर देना है उसमें. ओके, सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन सी, लैक ऑफ जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी. जब वेरिएशन नहीं होगा रिप्रोडक्शन में, अगर वेरिएशन नहीं होगा, देन द इफ वन प्लांट दे आर ऑल जेनेटिकली इन ये सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन में क्या होता है, ऑल प्लांट्स आर जेनेटिकली आइडेंटिकल. तो एक में अगर बीमार था तो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन भी बीमारी वो वाला इट विल कैरी, राइट, बिकॉज वी आर डूइंग इट एसेक्सुअली. ओके, वेयर सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन में क्या होगा, वेरिएशंस आएगा तो इट माइट हैव अ चांस ऑफ सर्वाइवल, राइट. अब इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन हो रहा है, तो दैट मीन्स जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी नहीं है. ओके, देयर इज नो वेरिएशन. तो उसके वजह से क्या हो रहा है, सेम प्लांट ही है, जो भी चीज़ है एक पेरेंट प्लांट में, वो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन में वही वाला कैरी फॉरवर्ड हो रहा है. तो एक जनरेशन में डिजीज आ गया तो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन में भी डिजीज होगा. ओके, सो दैट इज ऑप्शन सी. नेक्स्ट वन, इन अ न्यूट्रिएंट रिच मीडियम, yeast cells were grown in a lab. The most common method of reproduction that was observed is multiple fission, fragmentation, budding या regeneration. So you have to say about yeast cells. Okay, yeast cells grow किया है lab में, तो कौन सा reproduction type of method of reproduction will be observed. So you should know what is the reproduction seen in yeast cells. So the option C is correct, that is budding. Okay, so budding will occur in yeast cells. Yes. Next one, assertion reasoning. Meiosis is essential for sexual reproduction. Reason, it produces haploid gametes. Now tell me whether it is correct or wrong. Okay, let's see the answer. Option A is the correct answer. Okay, so both are correct and R is the correct explanation of A. Meiosis is required for sexual reproduction. और क्यों होता है, because it produces haploid gametes. Okay, in sexual reproduction the gametes are haploid. When they fuse it becomes twisent. Okay, so double. Gametes हमेशा haploid होता है, always remember. Okay, male gamete, female gamete, NN. Okay, तो haploid होता है, remember this always. Gametes are always haploid. Next one, binary fission in amoeba is faster than multiple fission. Reason is given, multiple fission requires formation of protective cyst. So what will be the correct option? Is it true? Okay, yes, A is the correct option. So both are true and R is the correct explanation. Binary fission is faster than multiple fission, or multiple fission में protective cyst is required. Okay. Next one. Assertion is fertilization restores diploid chromosome number. Reason, gametes are produced by mitosis. See the statements. Okay. So option C is correct. That is, A is true, R is false. Okay. Yes, fertilization will restore diploid chromosome. जब gametes होता है तब haploid होता है. जब fuse हो जाता है, when fertilization will occur, it will become twisent. That is diploid chromosome number होता है. And reason statement is false. Gametes are not produced by mitosis. Okay, meiosis से होता है. Mitosis is only somatic cells. Meiosis involves the gametes. Okay, so option C is correct, not A. Next one, fertilization and pollination are different processes. Reason, both involve transfer of pollen grains. Okay, so here what will be the answer? Option C again. A is true, R is false. Okay, so both fertilization and pollinations, different process. They are not the same process. Fertilization होता है fusion of gametes, pollination होता है transfer of pollen grains, right, from the male flower to the female flower, right. both in reason given, both involves transfer of pollen grains. Yes, fertilization होता है कब, जब when transfer of pollen grains is there. Pollination भी वही बोला है that it is transfer of pollen grains. So C, the reason statement is correct. So A is sorry, A is true, R is false. Both will not involve transfer of pollen grains. Sorry, fertilization में pollen grains का transfer नहीं होता. Fusion वाला होता है, fusion of gametes, right? Pollen grains जब ovum में जाके फ्यूज होगा, देन ओनली फर्टिलाइजेशन विल ऑकर. ट्रांसफर, पोलन ग्रेन्स ट्रांसफर होने से जरूरी नहीं है कि इट विल पॉलिनेशन विल ऑकर और फर्टिलाइजेशन विल ऑकर. पॉलिनेशन हो गया, ठीक है, ट्रांसफर पोलेंस एक फ्लावर से मेल से फीमेल फ्लावर में आ गया, बट इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी दैट पोलेंस आया तो फर्टिलाइजेशन भी होगा. ओके, सो द रीजन इज फॉल्स. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. ह्यूमन मेल्स आर होमोगैमेटिक. Reason, they produce two types of gametes. Is it correct? Human males के बारे में बोला, that is homogametic. Homo means same, hetero means different. Okay, gametes same है बोल रहा है, and they produce two types of gametes. So the correct answer is option D. A is false. Human males का क्या होता है, X and Y, so it is heterogametic, not homogametic. Okay, and they produce two types of gametes. Yes, X or Y gametes form होता है. So A is false, R is true. I hope I am clear. Yes. It is not option A, it is option D. Okay. Next one. Menstruation accession. Okay. Menstruation occurs only when fertilization does not occur. Reason, uterine lining breaks down in absence of pregnancy. Okay. So, see the statements. Menstruation occurs only when fertilization does not occur. That is in females. Menstruation कब होता है, whether during fertilization or when fertilization will not occur. Okay, and uterine lining breaks down in absence of pregnancy. So what is it correct? So yes, both are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. So when the uterine lining will break down, then only menstruation occurs, right? So अगर fertilization होता है तो uterine lining breakdown नहीं होता है. So now here they have seen menstruation occurs when fertilization does not occur. So मतलब अगर वैसा हो रहा है तो uterine lining will also break down in absence of pregnancy. Yes, A is the correct option. Next one. Ovulation occurs once in every menstrual cycle. Reason, one ovum is released from the ovary. This is an easy one. So every menstrual cycle, ovulation will occur. Okay, that is release of eggs, and one ovum is released from the ovary. So option A is the correct one. Yes, very good. So both are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay, another one is accession. Asexual reproduction occurs in unicellular organisms. Reason, they have simple body structure. This is also easy one. Yes, it will be option B, not A. Okay, so here both are true, but R is not the correct. Just because it is a simple body structure, asexual reproduction does not occur in unicellular organisms. Okay, so it is not a correct explanation, but both the statements are correct. Unicellular organisms have simple body structure. Next one. Identify the sequence which correctly represents events in sexual reproduction of flowering plants. You have to identify which sequence is correct. Okay, pollination, उसके बाद fertilization, then seed formation, या फिर option B fertilization पहले होगा, then pollination, then seed formation, या option C seed formation, pollination or fertilization, and option D germination, फिर fertilization, then pollination. What is the correct sequence? A, B, C or D? तो ये plants के बारे में बोला है, flowering plants. So how will sexual reproduction occur in flowering plants? पहले, yes, very good. Option A is the correct one. पहले pollination होगा, फिर fusion होगा, that means fertilization होगा, fertilization के बाद ही seed formation होता है. Okay. Next one. If chromosome number of a species is 18, okay, now think this one. What will be the number of chromosomes in its gametes? अगर एक स्पीशीज का सपोज तुम्हारे पास 18 क्रोमोसोम्स है, ठीक है, तो तुम्हारे गैमेट में कितना क्रोमोसोम्स है? इज इट 8, 9, 36 और 24? टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम दिया है 18, गैमेट्स में कितना होगा? हाउ मच विल इट बी? सो द करेक्ट ऑप्शन विल बी ऑप्शन बी 9 हाफ होगा ना. टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स में क्या होता है, सॉरी, ट्वाइस एन, मतलब 18 है. ट्वाइस एन इक्वल टू 18. और अगर गैमेट्स में मतलब हाफ होता है ना, तो 18 डिवाइडेड बाई 2 कर दो. सो इफ इट इज 18 डिवाइडेड बाई 2, हाउ मच इज इट? दैट इज 9. सो 9, ऑप्शन बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. ठीक है. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड. नॉट 36, डबल नहीं होगा. तुमको गैमेट्स पूछ रहा है, दे आर आस्किंग फॉर गैमेट्स. गैमेट्स आर ऑलवेज हाफ ऑफ द टोटल नंबर. अगर 18 है उसका हाफ कितना होगा? 9. दैट मीन्स यू आर डिवाइडिंग बाई 2, राइट. टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स इज ट्वाइस एन, इसलिए गैमेट से डबल होगा. 9 का डबल होगा 18. दैट विल बी योर टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स. और अगर सिर्फ गैमेट्स के क्रोमोसोम्स इफ यू आर दे आर आस्किंग, देन इट विल बी हाफ. और जैसे में गैमेट्स का हाफ होता है. यस, ये वाला गलती मत करना, ठीक है. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. Which of the following is not a function of placenta? Placenta, you know, nutrition, excretion, gas exchange, hormone production in fetus. So fetus कहाँ पे ग्रो होता है? प्लेसेंटा में. So what is the role of placenta there? Not a function. Function of placenta नहीं है पूछ रहे हैं. Okay. So the correct option will be option D, that is hormone production in fetus. That is the not the function of placenta. Rest all nutrition, excretion, gas exchange from mother's blood, it is transferred to the baby or the fetus, right? लेकिन hormone production नहीं होता है. That is not the function of placenta. Rest three are function of placenta. Yes. Next one. Cross pollination is advantageous. Why? Cross pollination, I hope you know, right? अलग अलग फ्लावर का अगर pollination हो गया, that is called cross pollination. Okay. सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन क्या होता है? सेम फ्लावर में मेल एंड फीमेल का अगर हो गया सेम प्लांट में, दैट इज कॉल्ड सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. अगर अलग अलग प्लांट्स का फ्लावर्स में हो रहा है, देन इट इज कॉल्ड क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन. नाउ दे आस्किंग व्हाई इट इज एडवांटेजेस. ऑप्शन ए, प्रोड्यूसेस आइडेंटिकल ऑफस्प्रिंग. ऑप्शन बी, रिड्यूसेस वेरिएशन. ऑप्शन सी, इंट्रोड्यूसेस जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी. ऑप्शन डी, प्रिवेंट्स फर्टिलाइजेशन. पॉलिनेशन का मतलब ही है फर्टिलाइजेशन. अगर पॉलिनेशन हुआ तो मे बी देयर विल बी फर्टिलाइजेशन. अब अगर फर्टिलाइजेशन हो गया तो क्या होगा? यस, इंट्रोड्यूसेस जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी. अगर अलग अलग हो रहा है मतलब जेनेटिकल डाइवर्स. सपोज एक पिंक फ्लावर है, एक वाइट फ्लावर हो गया, है ना, दोनों का क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन हो गया, तो तुमको दूसरा कलर का फ्लावर मिलेगा कि नहीं कलर का? इट इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी पिंक ही हो गया, वाइट मिक्स वाला मिलेगा. वाइट एंड पिंक का मिक्स भी फ्लावर में मिलेगा, है ना. सो दैट मीन्स जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी मिल जाएगा. सो इंट्रोड्यूसेस जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी. सो ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट वन. गुड. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. Structure that ensures attachment of embryo to the uterus. So कौन सा structure embryo को uterus के साथ join करता है? Is it amnion? Is it placenta? Is it ovary? Or is it fallopian tube? Okay, it is option B, that is placenta. Okay, next one. Failure of which process will directly prevent seed formation? नींद आ रहा है. ओके, ज़्यादा नहीं है, बस और एक चैप्टर बाकी है हेरिडिटी का, देन इट इज गोइंग टू बी ओवर. ओके, मीठा खा लो कुछ. ऑलवेज बने नो व्हेन यू फील स्लीपी एंड ऑल, मीठा खा लो, फोकस रहेगा. ब्रेन में शुगर चाहिए होता है, ज़्यादा हो रहा है तो थोड़ा सा स्वीट्स खा लो, चॉकलेट खा लो कुछ. ओके. फेलियर ऑफ पानी पी लो, ड्रिंक वाटर. ओके, हाइड्रेट योरसेल्फ व्हेन यू आर स्टडीइंग एंड ऑल. डोंट simply directly study, keep on going, doing the studies. Okay, बीच बीच में ब्रेक लो, पानी पियो, कुछ खाओ. Okay, you need strength also to study. Your brain will function when you have energy. So energy कहाँ से मिलेगा जल्दी से? तो ग्लूकोज चाहिए, तो मीठा खा लो. Okay. Okay, come back. Failure of which process will directly prevent seed formation? Pollination, germination, fertilization, dispersal. So option C, that is fertilization. Okay, अगर fertilization नहीं होगा तो seed formation भी नहीं होगा. Okay. Yes, if you want you can have coffee also. कॉफ़ी अभी खा लोगे तो रात को फिर बाद में और ज़्यादा देर तक नींद नहीं आएगा. सो कॉफ़ी इज़ ऑल्सो एन ऑप्शन. स्पाइसी से काम नहीं चलेगा. स्पाइसी से खाओगे तो दिमाग में ग्लूकोज कहाँ से आएगा? तभी फोकस कैसे करोगे? ओके. ओके, चलो नेक्स्ट वन फटाफट. विच स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू अबाउट स्पोर्स? Multicellular structures produced by mitosis, thick-walled and resistant, only produced sexually. Okay, chalo. Option C, thick-walled and resistant. No, it's not A. It is spores. Spores के बारे में spores are what? Thick walled and resistant भी होता है. तो जब तक environment favorable नहीं होगा, so the spores will be formed. जब environment favorable हो जाएगा, proper conditions होगा growth के लिए, तब वो spores rupture करेगा, breakdown होके release कर जाएगा, right? So they will have thick wall and resistant. Okay, next one. Vegetative propagation preserves desirable traits in crops. Why is it? Is it produces variation? Option B, it involves sexual reproduction. Option C, offsprings are genetically identical. Option D, it allows mutation. Okay, what will be the answer? So answer is option C, offsprings are genetically identical. Already discuss किया था, अगर same trait चाहिए तो go for vegetative propagation. So उसमें offspring जो होगा they will be always identical. Okay. Next one. In humans, which event occurs only once during a menstrual cycle? Is it menstruation, ovulation, thickening of uterine wall, or hormone secretion? जो एक ही बार होगा menstrual cycle में. Okay, option B is the correct answer. Ovulation. Ovulation सिर्फ एक ही बार होता है. One menstrual cycle में एक ही बार ovulation होगा. 2-3 बार नहीं होता है. The release of the egg occurs only once. So option B is the correct one. Not A and not C. Okay. Next one. A couple is advised a contraceptive method that prevents fertilization, does not alter hormonal balance, and also protects against STDs. Which of the following method is most suitable? Oral contraceptive pills, male condom, copper T IUD, that is intrauterine devices, और सर्जिकल स्टेरिलाइजेशन. ठीक है, तो कौन सा वाला प्रिवेंट करेगा फर्टिलाइजेशन, लेकिन हार्मोनल बैलेंस को कुछ इफेक्ट नहीं करेगा, बॉडी में कुछ साइड इफेक्ट नहीं होगा, एंड ऑल्सो विल प्रोटेक्ट अगेंस्ट एसटीडी. कौन सा मेथड यूज करोगे? सारे कॉन्ट्रेसेप्टिव मेथड्स है, बट विच इज द वन विच विल जस्टिफाई दिस क्वेश्चन? Yes. So the correct option is male condom. Okay. So सर्जिकल स्टेरिलाइजेशन होगा तो कभी मतलब प्रेग्नेंट होगा ही नहीं, तो वी कैन नॉट गो फॉर सर्जिकल स्टेरिलाइजेशन. कॉपर टी कैन कॉज इन्फेक्शन और वी कैन कॉज हार्मोनल imbalance. Even oral contraceptive pills has a lot of side effects related to hormonal balance. Okay, so best is use a male condom. Yes. Okay, so this is over. The last one, that is your heredity. मेंडल का आ गया है, तो मेंडल का कुछ क्वेश्चन कर लेते हैं, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वंस. ओके, सो लास्ट वन. ओके, सो विल रैप इट अप. उसके बाद चलो. Which of the following best explains Mendel's choice of pea plant? Option A, long lifespan. Option B, self-pollination with clear contrasting traits. Option C, large flowers. Option D, wind pollinated. कौन सा वाला होगा? जल्दी बोलो. मेंडल्स का चॉइस पी प्लांट क्यों था? मेन चॉइस क्या था? व्हाट इज द मेन रीजन? इट इज ऑप्शन बी. ओके, यस, सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन विथ क्लियर कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग ट्रेट्स था, इसकी वजह से मेंडल ने पी प्लांट चॉइस किया. नेक्स्ट वन. ऑब्जर्वेबल कैरेक्टर ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनिज्म इज कॉल्ड. ऑप्शन ए, जीनोटाइप, फिनोटाइप, एलील और ट्रेट. व्हाट विल बी द आंसर? which one will define the statement? Observable character मतलब जो ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, जो बाहर से दिखेगा एक ऑर्गेनिज्म का कैरेक्टर, what will it be? So it will be option B, that is phenotype. Yes, good. Phenotype मतलब physical appearance. ठीक है, बाहर से जो दिख रहा है, तुम्हारा हेयर कलर, तुम्हारा आई कलर, स्किन कलर और शेप, वो सब दिखेगा, that is a phenotype. जीनोटाइप मीन्स जीन लेवल में. ठीक है, दैट इज अ जीनोटाइप. एलील मतलब जो होता है कैपिटल टी कैपिटल टी कैपिटल टी स्मॉल टी, दिस आर कॉल्ड एलील्स. ट्रेट मतलब कैरेक्टर. ओके, सो फिनोटाइप इज द ऑब्जर्वेबल कैरेक्टर. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. A heterozygous tall pea plant is crossed with a dwarf plant. What is the phenotypic ratio? Is it 3 is to 1, 1 is to 1, 1 is to 3, और ऑप्शन डी ऑल टॉल? इसमें बोला है टॉल पी प्लांट है, हेट्रोजाइगस टॉल पी प्लांट इज क्रॉस विद अ हेट्रोजाइगस ड्वार्फ प्लांट. तो फिनोटाइपिक रेशियो का, फिनोटाइपिक पूछ रहा है, जीनोटाइपिक नहीं. So what will be the option? So phenotypic option is 3 is to 1. That is A, option A. Always remember heterozygous में 3 is to 1 ratio होगा. That is monohybrid cross. पहला वाला that is 3 is to 1. है ना? 3 phenotypic पूछा है तो 3 tall होगा, 1 dwarf होगा. It will not be all tall. They are asking for phenotypic ratio. रेशियो पूछ रहे हैं ना, तो रेशियो होगा तो मतलब 3 is to 1 is to या 1 is to 3, 2 is to 1, उसको रेशियो बोलते हैं, right? So read the question properly. Okay, next one. Which statement is correct for dominant traits? They disappear in after generation. They express only in homozygous condition. They express in both homozygous and heterozygous condition. They are always harmful. So which one of these statement is correct for dominant trait? Dominant trait मतलब the one which is dominant over the recessive one. So which one is the correct one? So option C. Okay, so they are seen even if it is a homozygous trait, means cross between homozygous हो या heterozygous हो, दोनों condition में dominant trait will express. Okay, अगर tall दोनों homozygous दोनों ही TT है तभी भी tall ही होगा. If capital T small t is there तभी भी tall ही होगा, right? So dominant trait is always expressed in both homozygous or heterozygous condition. So option C is the correct one. Yes. Next one. Mendel's law of segregation states that option A, genes mix during inheritance. Option B, traits are inherited together. Option C, alleles separate during gamete formation. Option D, only dominant traits are inherited. Harmful, it is not harmful there. That statement is wrong. तो इसको बस ऑप्शन में दे दिया है. Okay. Mendel's law of segregation क्या है बोलो? Genes mix during inheritance. Traits are inherited together, alleles separate during gamete formation, या only dominant traits are inherited. Mendel's law of dominance, Mendel's law of segregation, Mendel's law of codominance, ये पढ़ लेना तीनों. So here option C, जो alleles होगा, it will separate during gamete formation. So whatever alleles are there, so separate करके it will separate during gamete formation. Okay, so that is nothing but Mendel's law of segregation. Yes. Next one. A cross between two heterozygous plants produce 200 offsprings. How many are expected to show recessive phenotype? See the question. दो heterozygous plants लिया है, where you get the offsprings. How many? 200 offsprings मिला है. तो कितना recessive phenotype होगा? Recessive character कितना क्या होगा? Is it 25, 50, 100 or 150? These are sums. These are very important ones. Okay, एक question आता ही है, so you should know. Okay, so here 50 will be the answer. Recessive पूछा है, 3 is to 1 है ना? So मतलब क्या हुआ? 1/4 into 200. See here, recessive dominant trait 3 होता है, recessive trait एक ही होता है, right? So total ratio is how much? 4. So recessive trait पूछ रहे हैं, so 1/4 into total population कितना दिया हुआ है? 200. So 1/4 into 200 is how much? 50. So answer will be 50, not 25, 50. अगर 3 होता तो अगर पूछा था डोमिनेंट ट्रेट कितना है, then it will be 3/4 into 200. वैसे करना है. Okay, now they have asked only for recessive trait. तो recessive कितना है? एक ही है. So 1. So 1 by total ratio how much? 3 plus 1, 4. So 1 out of 4 into that given population, that is 200. So it will be 50. Okay, so you should know this sums. Okay, next sum. Same thing. In a monohybrid cross, total offspring is 240. How many are expected to show recessive trait in F1? Same question. Same type का question है. 240 दिया हुआ है इस बार. Same recessive trait. So 1/4 into 240. So कितना होगा? So that will be option C, that is 60. 1/4 into 240 is 60, right? So option C. Same question with different numbers. Okay, next one. If genotypic ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 1, okay, what is the phenotypic ratio? Very easy. Agar genotypic ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 1, what is the phenotypic ratio? Is it 1 is to 2 is to 1, 3 is to 1, 1 is to 1, or 2 is to 1? Yes. So अगर genotypic ratio अगर है, phenotypic मतलब physical, so that is 3 is to 1. That is option B. Okay. So phenotypic ratio पूछेगा monohybrid cross में तो 3 is to 1 होता है. Genotypic ratio होगा तो जो 3 है we'll divide it into 2. That is 1 is to 2. Okay. 1 is purely dominant. The 2 is hybrid. Right. Yes. Next one. In a dihybrid, now coming to a dihybrid cross, total offspring is 256. Dihybrid है अभी, ठीक है? So ratio, you know, dihybrid cross में what is the ratio? 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. How many shows both recessive traits? So which one will show recessive traits? Out of 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, which one will show the recessive trait? So 1 जो है, that is a recessive, right? Others are what? Different. 9 होगा dominant वाला, बाकी 3 is to 3 is your mixed one, right? Only the one that is there, that is a recessive trait. So that one, so 1 divided by now 9 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 into 256. That is, you'll get 16. Okay, this is the question. So total offspring into 1 by 16, 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, है ना? So that one, so 9 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1, that comes to 16. So that's why total number of offspring is given as 256. So 1 by 16, because this is the recessive one. This one is nothing but this one. Okay. So 1 by 16 into 256, that will give you 16. Okay. So that's the answer. So 16 offsprings will be produced. Next one. If round seeds R is capital R is dominant over wrinkle small r, what is the genotype of wrinkle seed? तो यहाँ पे wrinkle seed के बारे में पूछ रहा है. Okay, wrinkle means recessive. Is it capital R, will it be capital R, smaller, will it be smaller, or capital R, smaller, or smaller? Which one is the correct answer? Fast. In order to be, wrinkle means recessive होने के लिए क्या होगा? Both the alleles should be small letters. If it is dominant, it can be both capital or one capital, one small, है ना? So recessive पूछा है, wrinkle मतलब recessive, so it has to be smaller. So option C, yes, option C is the correct one. Yes. Next one. How many different gametes can genotype R, capital R, small r, capital W, small w form? Is it 2, 3, 4 or 8? कितना gametes बन सकता है इससे? Check. So here the correct answer is option C, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 are there. So 4 different alleles are there. So 4 gametes. You see here, these are the ones. So capital R, capital W, capital R, small w, small r, capital W, and small r, small w. So 4 different gametes can be formed in this type of genotype. Okay. No, it can be 8, it will be 4. 4 only, na? 4 are there. These are the 4 options. Okay. Yes. So this type of questions, they do come. So be careful. मैं सारा पैटर्न डिफरेंट टाइप यहाँ पे डिस्कस कर दिया है. ओके, सो यू गो थ्रू इट. अलग अलग तरह का क्वेश्चन जो आ सकता है. नेक्स्ट वन. A cross between capital T and small t gives offspring stature. What will be the offspring? अगर ये cross किया तो will it be all tall? Will it be all dwarf? Tall and dwarf in the ratio of 1:1, or tall and dwarf in the 3:1 ratio? So the answer is option A, all will be tall. Okay, so because if you cross it, so all the plants will in the first F1 generation, all will be tall plants. Yes or no? So option is the correct one. Not D. They are asking for the offspring. So first generation पूछ रहा है. So first generation is always all will be dominant ones, that is tall ones. Next one. In a family, father is normal, mother is carrier of a sex-linked disorder. What is the probability of having a affected son? Okay, क्वेश्चन समझो. फादर नॉर्मल है, फादर का गैमेट जो एलील जो है वो नॉर्मल होगा, लेकिन मदर का एक में तुम्हारा मदर इज द कैरियर। ओके, तो मतलब एक डिसऑर्डर, सेक्स लिंक डिसऑर्डर में क्या होता है, क्रोमोसोम्स में एक इट इज लिंक विद द क्रोमोसोम। ओके, सो उसमें अगर मदर अगर वो डिसऑर्डर लेके आ रहा है, फादर नॉर्मल है, no disease is there, but the mother is carrying it. Okay, so what is the probability of having a affected son का whether sex linked disorder होगा या नहीं होगा? So what is the probability? Is it 0%, 25%, 50% या 100%? What will be the answer? 50. Okay, all are going for 50. Okay, yes, very good. Option C is the correct one. क्योंकि what is the now seen here? मदर का जीनोटाइप क्या होगा? लेट्स से फादर विल बी XY, राइट? सो लेट्स से वी आर टेकिंग XH, ओके, एंड हियर मदर इज XH एंड X स्मॉल h, मतलब शी इज ए कैरियर, तो दोनों में नहीं हो, एक ही है कैरियर है, तो मतलब शी इज ए कैरियर, शी इज नॉट गेटिंग अफेक्टेड, लेकिन वो कैरी कर रहा है, वो डिजीज का जीन कैरी कर रहा है। सो हियर वन ओनली आई हैव गिवन, सो स्मॉल h। ओके, ना प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या होगा सन होने के लिए? XY होगा, राइट? तो x एक ये वाला XH इसके साथ जाएगा, राइट, और ये वाला XH अगेन y के साथ। सो नॉर्मल, अगर इफ इट इज दिस x इज गोइंग देन इट इज नॉर्मल वन, है ना? दिस इज नॉर्मल, दिस इज द सेक्स लिंक वन। सो नॉर्मल वाला जा रहा है इसके साथ, सो शी हैज, सो एक तो नॉर्मल हो सकता है, या फिर अगर ये गया इसके साथ देन इट हैज, दैट मीन्स द सन विल बी अफेक्टेड। सो देयर इज 50-50 चांस दैट द सन कैन बी अ नॉर्मल वन और अ अफेक्टेड वन। अगर डॉटर के लिए चाहिए होगा, यू सी द वंस, अगर दोनों डॉटर के लिए क्या होगा, XH, तो मतलब नॉर्मल, तो इसमें भी 50%। और अगर ये वाला गया इसके साथ देन इट इज अ कैरियर, शी इज नॉट अ अफेक्टेड वन, इसमें कैरियर होगा। ओके, बिकॉज इसमें एक ही है एज, दोनों एज होता तो देन शी कुड हैव बीन अ अफेक्टेड डॉटर, बट कैरियर है ओनली एक ही है, तो शी इज अ कैरियर। यहाँ पे भी 50-50 चांस है। ओके, सो फॉर ईच साइड, फॉर मेल चाइल्ड इट इज 50-50. Okay, next one. If a plant genotype has AA, capital A, small a, probability of producing gamete A is how much? Is it 0, 25%, 50%, 100%? Genotype दिया हुआ है capital A, small a, तो small a gamete produce करने के लिए what will be the probability? So answer is option C, 50%. Okay, so 50% chance of having small a, 50% chance of having capital A. Okay, so heterozygous है, okay, तो इसमें 50% कैपिटल ए होगा, 50% विल हैव स्मॉल ए। अगर होमोजाइगस होता, बोथ अगर कैपिटल ए कैपिटल है, देन 100% विल बी कैपिटल ए गैमेट, देयर वोंट बी एनी स्मॉल ए, क्योंकि यहाँ पे एक हेटेरोजाइगस है, एक कैपिटल एक स्मॉल है, तो 50% ए होगा कैपिटल ए, 50% स्मॉल ए। ओके, सो इट्स नॉट 25%, 50-50। और अगर दोनों ही कैपिटल ए होता देन देयर विल बी नो स्मॉल ए, ऑल विल बी 100% कैपिटल ए गैमेट्स। सो सी व्हाट इज बीइंग गिवन, होमोजाइगस कंडीशन है या हेटेरोजाइगस है? ओके, ओके, फेनोटाइपिक रेशियो ऑफ डायहाइब्रिड क्रॉसेस, डायहाइब्रिड क्रॉस का फेनोटाइपिक रेशियो क्या होगा? इज इट 3:1, 1:2:1, 9:3:3:1, और इज इट 1:1:1? Very easy one. So answer is option C, dihybrid is 9:3:3:1, है ना? मोनोहाइब्रिड इज 3:1 होता है, फिनोटाइपिक रेशियो ही पूछा है, सो 9:3:3:1। ओके, ऑप्शन सी, यस। Which ratio confirms Mendel's law of independent assortment? Is it 3:1, 1:2:1, 9:3:3:1, या 1:1? What will be the answer? Next question. So here the correct answer is option C. Independent assortment is related to dihybrid cross, so the ratio will be 9:3:1. So that's why I'm saying remember the laws, law of segregation, law of independent assortment is important. Okay, next one. In a dihybrid cross, if 144 plants are produced, how many will show both dominant traits? मतलब only dominant traits will be seen, no mixed one, no recessive ones, both dominant traits, मतलब both alleles are dominant out of 144 plants, वो भी dihybrid cross। same thing, 9:3:3:1, उसमें से कौन सा लोगे? that will be 9, है ना? so 9 out of 16 multiplied by 144, So option C, it will get 81. Okay, so both dominant traits will be 9. 9 वाला लेना है रेशियो में, तो टोटल रेशियो होगा 16, गिवन इज 144, so it is 81. अगर मिक्स वाला लेना है, so it will be 3, so 3 out of 16 into 144, it will be 27 each टाइप होगा. अगर डोमिनेंट मिक्स वाला चाहिए या फिर रिसेसिव मिक्स, 27 27, 3:3 होता है ना, तो बोथ विल हैव 27 27. एंड अगर रिसेसिव, बोथ रिसेसिव होगा, देन 1 होगा, सो 1 out of 16 by 1 into 144 will be 9. Okay, that's how you need to show the calculation. Whatever is being asked, बाकी दोनों नहीं चाहिए, whatever is being asked, only that one you show, you'll get full marks. Okay, so do it properly. Okay, assertion reason में कर लेते हैं. Dominant trait appears in F1 generation. Reason, recessive allele is masked by dominant allele. So easy one. Okay, so option C is the correct one. Okay, so A is true, R is false. Recessive allele cannot be masked by, is masked by dominant allele. That is not the correct statement. Okay, so it is not masked by dominant allele. Dominant trait always shows in F1 generation, so it is always dominant over the recessive one. Okay, so A is true, R is false. Next one, assertion, homozygous individuals produce only one type of gametes. Reason, both alleles are identical. Okay, so we are talking about homozygous individuals. So let's see. So yes, both are correct, and R is the correct explanation. So homozygous condition means where both the alleles are same. It can be capital A, or small a, small a. So both alleles are identical. That's why, since it is same, that's why only one type of gamete is formed. Capital A, capital T, or small t, small t. So both will produce same type of gametes, right? Capital T ही आएगा, small t होने से small t ही आएगा. So that is option E is correct. Next assertion, genotype of F1 generation in monohybrid process uniform. Reason is given, all offspring receive same alleles. Okay, the genotype of F1 generation in monohybrid process uniform बोला है. Okay, and reason is all offspring receive same alleles. So what will be the answer? So option A. Okay, both are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. So because since genotype in a monohybrid cross, the genotype is same. Okay, uniform is equal or same. So that means what? Offsprings have the same alleles, right? Okay, next one. Which of the following will not create variation? Easy one. Meiosis, sexual reproduction, mutation in germ cells, or binary fission. So the correct option is, what will be the correct option? Option D, binary fission, that is asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction does not create variation, right? Okay, next one. Answer this. A genetical disorder appears only when both alleles are defective. Which inheritance pattern does this indicate? Dominant, recessive, codominant, or sex-linked? एक genetic disorder है which will appear जब both alleles defective होता है, then only you get a genetic disorder. Otherwise in one है तो फिर carrier होता है. Okay, remember this. तो कौन सा inheritance pattern it indicates? So your correct answer will be option B, that is recessive. Okay, so in recessive, if both, so the alleles are defective, so the genetic disorder will appear. Okay, next one. Which chromosome is present in all human gametes? This is the easiest one, and you will make mistake also. कौन सा chromosome है जो all human gametes में present है? Is it X, Y, X or Y, or autosomes only? Let's see. Okay, so it is option A, not B. Okay, it cannot be B because B में Y तो Y female में नहीं होता है. X is the only chromosome that is present in both male and female, right? Female gametes में भी X होता है, male gametes में भी X होता है. So it is X, not X or Y also. दोनों में common है बोल रहा है. So X. So that is option E. Next one. If a sperm carrying Y chromosome fertilizes ovum, child will be option A female, option B male, option C intersex, option D cannot be predicted. So what will be produced? अगर Y chromosome fertilizes with a ovum, that means female chromosome के साथ. So the chromosome will be, so the child will be a male, right? Female ovum मतलब X chromosome होगा. Sperm is donating the Y chromosome, so XY means it will be a male. Okay, so option B, not A. A नहीं होगा, B होगा. XY, sperm से Y आ रहा है, egg से X आ रहा है. So XY is male, not a female. It cannot be both. Okay, female, yes. Next one, why is sex-linked inheritance more common in males? Because they have two X chromosomes. Option B, they have only one X chromosome. Option C, Y chromosomes carry many genes. Option D, female lacks sex chromosomes. So what will be the reason for this? Sex-linked inheritance male में ज़्यादा common है. Why? The correct answer is option B, because they have only one X chromosome. Okay. The other one is Y. So X chromosome, so the sex-linked inheritance is common in males. Okay. Which is not inherited? Option A, blood group. Option B, eye color. Option C, height increased by exercise. Option D, hair color. Which one will be not be inherited? That means we are talking about acquired traits. It is option C, height. Height is not transferred to the offspring, right? That is something, height by exercise. That is something you are doing it in your due course of your lifetime. It is not inherited. It is not, cannot be inherited. Okay, race, blood group, eye color, hair color, they are genetically inherited. But height by exercise is acquired trait, which is during your lifetime, whatever you have done it or achieved it, that is comes under this one trait. Okay. Which change affects evolution? Change in somatic cells, change in germ cells, change in skin color, or change in muscles, which will affect evolution. Okay, so answer is option B, germ cell. Only when the gametes of there is a change in the gametes or variation in gametes, only evolution will occur, right? But other somatic cells or normal cells will not have effect on evolution or skin color or muscles. Yes, option B. Next one, a genotype produces 4 different types of gametes. Which genotype is most likely? B. Option A, capital A, capital A. Option B, capital A, small a. Option C, capital A, small a, capital B, small b. Option D, both capital A, capital B. Okay, so which one produces 4 different types of gametes? 4 gametes चाहिए मुझे. Which one will it be? So the correct answer is option C. यहाँ से 4 gametes will be produced, right? A capital A, small a, capital B, small b. So 4 types, different types of gametes can be produced. So option C is the correct one. Next one, which genotype produces maximum variation in gametes? Both capital A, both small a, one is capital A, small a, and the other one is only capital A. Yes, option C is the correct one. If both are heterozygous, then it will cause variations, right? A capital A hai, one is dominant, one is recessive. So one capital and one small. So that will be always produce maximum variation. Same hoga to nahi hota hai. Okay. A plant breeder crosses 2 pea plants. All F1 plants were tall. In after generation, both dwarf and tall plants appear. Which conclusion is most appropriate? Tall trait is recessive. Tall trait is dominant over dwarf. Both parents were heterozygous. Option D, law of independent assortment is violated. So which statement is most appropriate? So the correct answer will be option B, tall trait is dominant over dwarf, because you see the tall traits being seen both in F1 as well as F2. Dwarf plants are seen only in F2 generation, right? So here we see dominant trait is being seen both in F1 and F2. So option B is the correct one. D नहीं है, is violated बोला है, means ये follow नहीं कर रहा है. So this is not the correct one. Okay. A cross between, next one, a cross between 2 plants gives 75% dominant phenotype. What is the most likely genotype of the parents? अभी देखो F1 जनरेशन दिया है, 75% दिया हुआ है तुम्हारा dominant phenotype है. तो पेरेंट्स का जीनोटाइप क्या था? विल इट बी दिस capital T and capital T, or one capital T another one small t, or will it be capital T small t process capital T small t, or is it between capital T small t and small t? किसमें 75% डोमिनेंट फेनोटाइप आएगा? 3:1 ratio, so 3 means dominant, right? So 75%, so अगर dominant होना है तो it will be option C, heterozygous. Both has to be parents have to be heterozygous, then it will get 3:1 ratio, 75% dominant phenotype दिखेगा, otherwise it won't be. Okay, so that's it. Okay, we are done finally. I hope you have liked it. Did you like the questions? Yes. Okay, okay, so done. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming. We are finally done with biology. Okay, go back and read the topics that you have still doubts, and any queries, anything, any other topic that you want me to go live on or show some videos, you can let me know. Okay, I have already done few of the videos. Go back and check those competency based or the chemistry series. Those things you go back and you can watch it. I've given the link, shared the link in the description link. Okay, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Okay, have a good night everyone. Actually it's good morning. Okay, so you all have a good night. Okay, bye everyone.